down and chunk some of this shit.
Oh, just some scary movie.
Like scary.
Uh-huh.
Hell is this?
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
We're live.
Live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast, and it's hosted by I Know the Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I am the other host, Paul. And tonight, yes, this evening is a very special night. So I'm going to introduce us a little bit differently. So welcome to the thousands, and I mean thousands, of Nerdy Up North fans who are turning in to bear witness to the most electrifying nerdy podcast YouTube has to offer tonight. And tonight is a very special night. We have someone making her long-awaited podcast return. We have the most deadliest nerd of them all. She is known to kill a man with a double-ended dildo. The lady of the night. We have the wonderful, the fabulous, the amazing Donna. Yes. Hello, Donna. And finally, he is known to always come last. He never finishes first. We know him as the daddy of the Discord. We also know him as the one, the only Hobo Lee. The man, the legend, the penis. We have Lee.
Hi everyone.
Wow.
I never know what to say to them openings, but thanks. Hi Paul, hi Sammy, hi Donna.
Hi, Hobo Lee. Lee, who are you
Hi,
dressed up as
hi.
tonight?
Well, tonight I'm dressed as the wrong Blade. Global gym t-shirt on, but bleed, laser, and laser. Average Joe's gym are going down.
I am glad you dressed as this Blade because you've been tormenting us all week saying that you are going to be dressing the Blade, and I thought we were going to be I thought this was the night we got cancelled and taken off YouTube for Lee going too far. But he hasn't. He's done well.
Would you prefer the other Blade? Because I can just quickly put these sunglasses on and the mustache.
Right. But you've already got a mustache.
Like flip into your
I
hand
was
and you
born
start
ready,
to put them on.
motherfucker.
I genuinely don't know what to say right now.
I'm just glad you didn't get the shoe polish out. That's all I'm happy with. So that's
Yeah.
fine. So yes, I'm good with that. So yes, so we are, like I say, we are joined tonight by two special people. We were meant to have like quite a few people, but unfortunate events have happened. So we want to wish the two people that were meant to join us tonight, and I hope you do feel better. And we love you guys.
Love you.
And if you've noticed in the graphic as well, I've put a little Easter egg in for us as well. We've had a special week this week. We've had an amazing
Really
week.
special.
So yes, so we have done something that we set out for end of year targets. We said we said
Not March. End of year.
we said end of year. I think we set ourselves we wanted to hit 30 or 40,000. I think that was the end year goal. We've kind of broken that by a little bit. So
by a smidge.
we've done well. We've done well. We're not just sitting at 50,000 though. We are sitting at 51,000.
Jesus, where are you nerds coming from?
We are taking over the nerd community. We are going to be the number one nerd community on the internet. I am going to fulfill the prophecy and sacrifice a virgin. So everyone who's a virgin, you might as well get laid pretty soon. Otherwise, you could end up being part of the sacrifice. So Goodwill has to have the sex. Bless him. So yes. So do you want to do your bits there, Sammy?
Oh, are we doing all the bits or just half the bits?
I will do all of them. You can do all the bits. It's been a minute.
All the bits. Well, the most important, I cannot take Lee seriously right now. The most important question of the week is to ask, how are you all doing and what are you been watching?
I'm doing fine.
Doing fine.
Doing fine. What have you been watching, Lee, with your shiny hair?
I've managed to squeeze Blade in, and that is it. I worked 32 hours over Thursday and Friday, so
Wow.
that kind of describes the week that I've had.
Let's just give
It's been
Lee
a
a round of
nightmare.
applause for actually doing some work this week.
He says he
Thank you.
worked, but he still joined in with Quiplash, even though he was saying that he was working, and he won Quiplash as well. He is number one wronging for the time being. Yeah.
Time well spent there, Lee.
So yes, but that's still on his timesheet. He's still getting the hours, so it's all good. I hope his bosses isn't watching.
I hope so.
So does Lee. What have you? Sorry, I can't even talk. What else has anyone been watching this week other than what we're discussing tonight?
What about you, Donna? Have you watched anything fun of interesting other than porn?
No, that's Beth.
I-
I haven't had time to watch much, to be fair. I have watched the Blade movies today, obviously. The only thing I've started is an anime called Delicious in Dungeon.
All right.
Oh, I've got that on my list. That's my
It's really
list to
good.
watch.
They basically like go into a dungeon and
Mm.
they're hunting like monsters and different stuff. And instead of just killing them and leaving them there, they're like, why not let's just cook them all into dishes? So they go down and kill them all and then cook them all into weird dishes.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
It's D&D dishes. It sounds so fun. Jake told us all about it, and it's on my list.
Very cool. Very nice. And a big congratulations to Donna as well. Like I say,
Mhm.
she ran
yes.
ChibiCon last Sunday or was it Sunday before? It feels like
Was
a month ago.
Sunday?
Last Sunday.
Sunday gone.
Yes, very successful little convention that we attended,
Fun.
and it was so much fun. And Donna was running around like a little pixie, like I say, pretending to be busy, pretending to do all the work when she was really just hiding from everyone, really. And while Tucky, bless poor Tucky, doing all the work, working hard for the cause as well. And congratulations as well to the SunnyCon page, who also hit 50,000 followers. Just beat us by a week. So well done there.
Thank you.
So yes.
Round of applause.
What have you been watching, Samantha?
Well, I've watched obviously all the Blades, and I had to watch Plan 9 again to get me head around what's coming up for monsters. But what me and Anth did start the other day was what's it called? Avatar: The Last Airbender, the
All
live
right.
action one. And holy shit, that is so fucking good.
Oh.
I am a huge fan of the cartoon. When I saw live action Appa, I cried my eyes out because I want him so badly.
Oh, I love
Um,
Appa.
With one episode in and Donna, it is just it's beautiful. It is
I haven't had
absolutely
time
beautiful.
to start it, but I definitely need to.
It's so good, and it's very loyal as well. Very loyal to the cartoon, in not a way where you feel like it's taken scene from scene, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. It kind of like the opening scene with Aang's home area, that's kind of like developed a little bit more, fleshed out a bit more. I'm absolutely loving it. We're, like I said, we're only one episode in as well, and I'm excited about the rest of it. But that's all we've really been watching because I have had so much to watch this week.
Well,
Well, sit back, people.
we'll take the glasses off
Here
now.
he comes.
I stroke the beard while I talk about this. I have hit the mid-season finale of Moonshiners.
Oh my gosh.
So we do have
Dun, dun,
mid-season
dun.
finales in here. We've got Tickle, who's trying to go straight. He's not trying to be a moonshiner anymore. He wants to be. He's opened his own restaurant with his wife, and he can't stay out being a wrong'un though, because he's realised the restaurant has a huge area in the back that can store illegal liquor. So he's been
Oh,
storing it.
gosh.
Oh, he's gonna fuck up. He's gonna end up back in jail. Tickle, what you doing, man?
Tickle man. Goddamn Tickle.
The two old folks, when I was telling you at the start a few weeks ago, one of them has been diagnosed with a rare blood disease.
Oh
But
no.
but he's had good news. He's had good
Mhm.
news. It's like I said, it is treatable though. So they were worried that it was going to be end of days for him. So they went on this massive run where they're trying to make as much money as they can. But so far they've created 200 gallons of Popcorn Sutton's illegal whiskey.
Popcorn Sutton's
Popcorn
illegal.
Sitting is the most famous ever moonshiner that America has ever been. So if you look them up, He is a dodgy character, but he looks like basically what Lee looks like was going to look like in 50 years. He's going to, like, say, looks a lot thinner, a lot greyer, and a lot bigger beard, but, like, say, very much like a homeless person. But but the best part's left to come. So they're teasing a fallout. So there's been shenanigans all this season where last season dickhead Mike was going around having an argument with Richard. They were fighting over turf. So Mike blew up Richard's steel, and it turned out the steel didn't belong to Richard. It belonged to like some head honcho gangster moonshiner. Because yes, there's head honcho moonshiners. It's that backwards and shit, I'll tell you. And the head moonshiner has said, "You two have to work together." So Mike's partner is starting to like Richard more than Mike. So then we're going to throw Mike out. It's all going to kick off. There's going to be punches thrown. There's going to be hell on in the Moonshiner County. So yes, you've got that to look forward to in the second half of this season of Moonshiners.
So bloody dramatic, isn't it?
That was award-winning acting there, Sammy.
Sure, man. That's the highlight of this week's podcast. That talk there. Now,
everything now is just downhill.
Yes, that's what the audience tunes in for. The Moonshiner talk. They've been gagging for it for a few weeks. I've teased them with it, given a little bit of there. So they've got the little taste of Moonshiners now.
All up to date.
Yeah, they've got 13 seasons to watch.
Good God. Good gosh.
God, Donna just got the cookies out there for the OnlyFans. Good, you've just sent Goodwill in a spasm. You've just sent Goodwill in a spasm. He's like, "What's going on?" For all of our audio viewers, you've just missed a treat.
That's right. We have to now describe things, Donna.
Could you describe what you've just done on screen there, Donna?
I have Java pants on. I don't want to move it that far down.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Right. I tell you what, I'll do the disclaimer. Then we're going to crack on into the Blade Trilogy because there's a lot to say.
Yes, sir.
So, everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you want to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us on the Discord, the Facebook, or the comment section where we can have an open discussion. But what we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of a nerdism.
Well said there, young lady.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, before we get into the Blade Trilogy, I want to get the tagline out the way with. As we all know, I love a tagline. This one, pretty good actually.
All right.
Cool. I quite like this one. You ready? The power of an immortal, the soul of a human, the heart of a hero.
Oh, I like that.
Blade. That's the tagline, and I think it covers all three movies as well.
Pretty well. I've got a little snippet where I think will be a good way of like going into talking about Blade. Now, this movie when it came out, there was a certain studio or a certain comic book studio that was in dire straits, like we say. It was about to go bust. So, in a way, Blade. This is going to be the segue. Listen, Blade is the mother of all superhero movies, and with it being Mother's Day, it's a fitting that we're doing this. So I did my best to try and get this in there.
That's very, very clever.
Anything to talk about mothers, won't
Yes, and just to say, Happy Mother's Day to all you beautiful mothers out there. I hope you've been spoilt, and if you haven't, my DMs are open.
Oh, for God's sake. And let's also just say UK people only.
Yeah, people's been getting confused on the group today, haven't they? Like, what are you talking about?
This is why I put in brackets UK, because I remember the shit show over the daylight saving time.
I can't wait for that.
So I'm like,
I can't wait for that. Like, now we're 50,000 other fuckers. That's going to be fucking entertaining.
Oh, I thought I'm not getting into that, so I'm putting UK in my post just to make it very clear. It's just the UK.
Just the UK. Yes, I couldn't give a fuck. I love annoying the Americans. Hi, American viewers. So yes, so Blade. So as I said, this basically started the revolution. This basically gave us. We wouldn't have the Avengers. We wouldn't have Iron Man. We wouldn't have. Probably would have Spider Man in a way, but like not to the probably the degree we do now. If Blade hadn't come along, I know Marvel at that time was trying to like they went through the stage where they fucked up with the comics. They had too many variants. They had too many different characters. They would basically it was costing them more to print than they were making on sales.
Yeah.
The comic book world it was a scary time. I'll be honest with you. It was quite a scary time for a lot of comic book fans as well.
It was. The Image revolution did not help in the slightest either, because Image around the time, this is around the time Image Comics comes out, where you have all your Top Guns,
Mhm.
your Jim Lees, your Todd McFarlane, and Rob Liefeld to a degree.
But yeah, Rob Liefeld, I'll just do my chest out here. That's fine.
And really weird feet. But yeah, you have your Rob Liefelds, and they all congregate together and create Image Comics. The reason Batman had his back broken is because of the Image revolution. Marvel's downfall comes not solely from, but is helped by the Image revolution as well. And this is at the time where I feel Marvel Comics and Marvel Studios go their separate ways. Is it around now, or was that around later on?
They started selling off all the properties, like all the big names. Like Spider-Man went to Sony. Fox took up the X-Men, Fantastic Four. Sony, I think, got Ghost Rider. Possibly, I could be wrong about that. Then Blade. Was it New Line? I could be wrong.
Yeah, it was. It was New Line.
New
It
Line.
was.
And they went a different route. They didn't want to do like a comic book. Well, like all out comic book. They went right. What can we do with Blade? And I think they went hard, and it was a fucking gamble as well, because not many people, like everyone hears comic book movie and they think, oh, it's going to be a PG-12 at the latest, but the Blade went fucking hard. Like it was an 18, the first one.
Yeah.
And just talk about the opening scene, like how
Oh.
this movie started. Like I didn't think they would get away with doing this, but how it played out, it's just a stroke of genius. Like from the music, like the music is iconic now. Like you
Yeah.
can't think of Blade with not hearing doom da doom doom, kicking in and starting out.
When that plays, I worry where the blood's coming from.
Mhm.
Like I am looking around to say, where is that blood coming from? I didn't do a lot of notes for this episode. But what I can remember reading was the Prodigy were asked to do the full soundtrack for this movie, and they turned it down.
Ooh, that would have been
I feel like
interesting.
that would have
I'm
been,
glad
wouldn't
they
it?
did though.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, because what we got was pretty fantastic.
That song is mint.
Yeah.
And I remember this has shown how old I am as well. In the rock days on Thursday night in Pizzazz in Sunderland, that song used to come on, and the place used to go wild. Like I know, like you've got loads of sweaty teenagers, not teenagers, like 18 to 24-year-olds, just literally after like hearing probably his Linkin Park, like because it was Limp Bizkit, and then do like, it's a completely different like type of music, but literally the place just nobody was sitting down, everyone erupted, and unfortunately, if you had a drink in your hand as well, the pint or the bottle used to go up in the air, so everything used to end up being soaked. But it used to be such a fucking moment. But for a movie to start out like that, it kind of set the stall of where they wanted to go with this character and this like the franchise as a whole. And I've got to give it credit; they went balls to the wall, and it fucking worked.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No,
It
so
is one of the best opening scenes ever.
Mhm.
I actually
Ever.
have been talking about looking at warehouses just to recreate this scene.
Well, back in 2016, Comic Con San Diego, they do their own little, like, people have like after parties and such like that. This was one of them, warehouse, and it was a bloodbath. It was a bloodbath party. And I saw some of the photographs from it. I mean, the one thing I love about the first Blade movie is the use of blood
Mm-hmm.
and how much there is, the color of it,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the dark aesthetic. That blood is so vibrant that it makes you kind of like, oh, look at that. So I do love the use, and it gets watered down so much as like as the other sequels come into play. But it's like a character in itself, the blood in this movie. I love it.
And it almost takes a little page out of the Scream franchise as well by using, like, I wouldn't call her a well-known character, but like she is like a famous person, like Tracy Lords as the first one. Fair enough. I know Sammy's looking at us, but she was massive in Crybaby.
No, hey, I'm not disagreeing with you. Tracy Lords is fucking up there. Like when she came on screen, I went, fuck, I forgot about Tracy Lords in this. I fucking love her.
Yeah.
She's class in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Well, it's quite apt though, because like I say, she is well known for being a wrong'un in the porn industry as well. She nearly got the porn industry shut down because she was she was an underage porn star that she lied about her age. So that all of the films that she made as a porn star had to be destroyed. That's where like her name comes from. But using like a known actress, and again you're thinking, oh, she's going to be a mainstay. You're going to watch her throughout the movie. Like she's going to be one of these, like one of the side characters or even the main characters. And they do a scream and they kill her off in the first 5 minutes, absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah, it was a class move.
It wastes no time in showing that this is like
Mm-hmm.
a fucking horrible world.
Mhm.
Like all these other vampire things that have came out before, there's only usually like a small group where what's the maximum you would say has been shown in one go? Like 10 to 15, like what's that, 40 Days and 40 Nights, where there's like a family of vampires or something.
Yeah, they normally call them a nest or something like that. If you're watching Supernatural, yeah.
But he gets dragged into this place, and there's
Mhm.
like there's probably about 200 vampires in there, absolutely covered head to toe in blood,
Mhm.
and it's just immediately going, right, this world is scary as fuck. Vampires are real. They're not romantic like shit like in the movies.
No.
They're not sparkling in the sun like some stupid fucking whatever the fuck I thought it was trying to be. It's horrific, but it's amazing.
It was very sexual though. Like it was very like hot, if that makes sense. Like literally when they walk in that like the rave scene, like it was like they didn't dumb it down. It was very sexualized. Like the girls were walking up kissing girls and boys were kissing boys. There was like I think the word I'm trying to use is Andromedy, and I can't say it. The Andromedus
No.
aspect where it's
No,
like
I don't think that's it either.
well, the Andromedy when like saying vampires, because in vampire lore, like sexuality is like fluid and like everyone gets with everyone, and there's no like gay, straight, and like bi or anything like I say. It's just literally you're a vampire, you'll get necked on with. Uh, but but yeah, I can remember when I first saw this. It wasn't on the cinema. It was a Schneider DVD that I watched. What about you, Lee? When did you first see it?
I can't remember. I don't know how I managed to see it, but I definitely wasn't 18.
Right.
I don't know if maybe it's from Blockbuster or something like that. I think my parents might have rented it one night and I watched it with them.
So
Like
we'll get child services round to Lee's parents there. It's fine. What about you, Donna?
I think when I was a teenager, I think. Can't remember.
Adronymus, that's what I was trying to say, David. Thank you, sorry.
Androgynous.
Androgynous, that's it. Yes.
Thank you.
That'll teach us for trying to be clever.
Yeah. No, don't say those long words.
Yes. So you watch it on like say a video, a VHS, shall we say? Because yes, where you had to be kind and rewinded it. What were you, Sammy?
Oh, I saw this as soon as it came out. I love Wesley Snipes, and I was like, and also it was in me early goth days, so I was like, yeah, I'm getting into this. But I was saying Ant last night, and I'm really ashamed. Am I ashamed? No, not really. I was obsessed with this movie, like absolutely obsessed with it. Down to like from the aesthetic down to just everything about it. And I didn't know up until a few years ago he was a Marvel character.
Right, okay.
Genuinely didn't
Right.
know.
No
Did not
judgment.
know
No,
he
no
came-
judgment here. Don't worry.
Better not be.
I don't think they
I
even-
genuinely didn't know. I didn't even like think to myself, this is going to be a Marvel character. Why? Like, it's not a character you look at and go, you're in the Marvel superhero universe.
I
They
don't
didn't
think.
even put the Marvel logo until the beginning of the third one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think this.
I noticed that last night.
I think this. The first one got the Marvel logo eventually, though, didn't it? Like is it on like a DVD release or anything like that?
It definitely wasn't. I watched them on Prime,
Right.
and they were all the uncut versions. I'm sure, or at least the third one was.
Yeah.
And it didn't have any. It has nothing. I didn't even see Marvel's name in the
Right.
opening credits.
Can I say one thing as well? Because before I know that I'm going off topic here, but Prime, what the fuck are you playing at? Putting in fucking adverts? I'm sorry, that really pissed us off today.
Yeah,
That annoyed the shit out of me last night.
I'm like,
I
I'm
went,
paying for you,
"Excuse me?"
fucker.
right at the good parts as well.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
As well as the Marvel logo not being in them, those bastards. Sorry, Blade is amazing, especially the first one. But those bastards cut Stan Lee's cameo out of the film.
Did it?
He was meant to have a cameo where I can't remember what he's called now. Donald Logue's character, where he's like pinned to the wall on fire. Stan Lee was meant to come in as a like old police officer.
All right.
Find him pinned to the wall.
What you doing there, Sonny Jim?
But I don't. Stan Lee always has like funny scenes, and it's like, how can you make that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Like
can't.
Stan Lee walking in going, oh, a bit
Yeah,
hot.
it's like it's
there, Rowie.
Excelsior. But yeah.
Well, the director of this one was Stephen Norrington, and the writer was David S. Goyer.
Mhm.
Now, Goyer goes on to direct the third one, but has nothing to do with the second one. But Stephen Norrington has something to do with the second one.
Yeah.
And Guillermo del Toro directs the second movie.
You can see visually, like there's a change within all three films at different times. Like this one visually is perfect. Like the tones, the like the colors they use, like the palettes, like everything. It's just visually a feast for the eyes. Like there's nothing that, like as Lee said, there's no wasted motion. There's no like bad scenes or anything like that. The practical effects, and that's one thing I wanted to touch on as well, because this is probably what the conversation will go later. The practical effects in the first one is absolutely amazing. That guy who gets pinned to the wall and sets on fire, when he like kind of reanimates himself and like running around as a burnt corpse, is fucking amazing. It's one of the like most terrifying things, and all you see is like the whites of his eyes and his teeth. Like, and then when he bites one, you see the blood dripping from them teeth. It visually, it's amazing. It's absolutely one of the best 4K like upscales I've seen in a long time as well. Because normally, like an upscale, like if you watch Back to the Future in 4K, it's embarrassing because you can see where the makeup on the neck like kind of like disjoints.
Could see it on my telly.
that burnt guy scene in the hospital, real life horrific moment for that.
Yeah.
He slipped and fell, landed on his jaw, and he'd already had a jaw injury and he dislocated it.
Oof.
Had to go to hospital in his burnt outfit. Imagine the hospital coming in and this like guy just absolutely charged.
What happened here? Me jaw.
Jesus. Oh, but yeah, but like just from the opening, everything is at such a fast pace. It does. I can see where, like, say, I don't know if again could be wrong, but the people who made John Wick, kind of got like the ideas of where from like the cut scenes and like the fight scenes. It reminds us so much of those type of movies. Like watching Blade back now, it kind of I felt that kind of influence all the way through. But I have to admit, and like this is again not doing the film down, because at the time CGI was a bit choppy and it was a bit sketchy to do the best. There was a few sketchy CGI moments, especially when Buffy was doing better dusting scenes than Blade. I'll be honest with you.
Probably still better than some of the CGI that Marvel's producing now, mind.
Fair play.
Yeah, that is true. If we get into the characters, because there's some absolutely amazing characters in this movie. Just firstly though, the Wesley Snipes was technically always going to play Blade.
Yeah.
when they wrote it, that's who they had in mind. However, they did have two other names on the slate that they were contemplating if Wesley was to turn it down,
Right.
and it was Denzel. And
No,
Lawrence
fuck no, that wouldn't have worked. No.
Denzel and Lawrence Fishburne were the two other names on the slate, but Wesley thankfully said, "Hey, yes." But he
Only-
was
He
taken
is,
by the
he is
third one.
perfect for it. Like also during with the blood rave, like just the more it gives you straight away. It shows you how badass he is. He walks in, everyone's like, "Dear Walker." The silence, the intimidation, the fear on everybody. You can just see how badass the character's going to be like from the off.
But
But the
don't
only
even go anywhere near him.
one question with the blood rave as well, because everyone's covered in blood. Literally, it's covered from wall to ceiling. He doesn't have a fucking drop on him.
Because he's fucking Blade.
So he can dance between the drips, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I was like
see-
exactly the same.
I can just see before that scene as well, like Blade talking to Whistler, like, right, there's 200 vampires in this warehouse, right? So what's the plan of attack? The plan is to attack. It's like, he doesn't have a plan. He just walks in and stands there like, hi, guys.
Let's do this. He looks cool as fuck though when he's just standing there, and you've got all these vampires are so intimidated by him that yes, they've got all their fangs out, not one goes to lunge for him. They all kind of like pull back a bit, and he's just standing there, just completely clean, like no blood whatsoever.
The
on
legend
him.
of the
I
Deer
love that
Walker.
scene.
No, perfect.
I think he has fun as well when he's like killing all these vampires.
You can see him smiling.
Yeah, it's like a proper comic book pose moment where he throws his thing. And he's like,
Well, everything in these like movies, like they have these such a cheesy comic book poses, like they go beyond to the point. But the first one is pared back a little bit. It is more
Yeah.
into like what would happen if this was like kind of realistic. But just going back to your comment about Denzel, I know I slated it at first. The only way that potentially would work is if they did the Blade comics from the 70s. I
Yeah.
think Denzel would play a decent Blade from the 70s, but not a modern day Blade. I can't see it. But yeah, sorry, that was
Yeah.
the
I
action
just
would
couldn't.
not have worked.
no.
No,
Like,
and I don't think the
Wes-
same for Lawrence Fishburne either.
Wesley Snipes is a martial artist, and
Yes.
Blade 1, I would say, it's a story-based movie.
Mm.
Like the story is perfect from start to finish.
Yeah.
Blade 2 doesn't have as much of a story, but it is a martial arts film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine Denzel Washington or who was the other one?
Lawrence
Sorry?
Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne.
They're not going to be able to pull off that.
I know Lawrence Fishburne had his moment with The Matrix, but it's still not the same level of movement and fluidity that Wesley brings to it.
Yeah. No.
So I couldn't see him pulling them off either. But Wesley Snipes was always that's who they wrote it around.
Yeah. But that's the problem though with Wesley Snipes. I'm not saying he's like a wrong or anything like that. Allegedly might be.
Alleged. Yeah, let's just put that word right in there. Allegedly.
But he got too much power with all the Blade franchise as well, and he got too much say with the character. Like, but you know,
it feels like history is repeating itself though, because
Yeah.
Makushna Ali is having the same thing. He's already sacked one director. He did it,
Yeah.
not anyone else. He did it. But when I was watching Blade on the other night, I could just there's some moments in it. I was like, I can see how Makushna Ali is going to fit
yeah.
beautifully into this character.
I think it'll be down to the fight scenes more than anything else.
Yeah.
He'll have the coldness, and like the sharpness of Blade, but it's just how they do the fight scenes. That's simple how Blade will work, to be honest. And again, the main thing with the Blade movies is how they do the bad guys. The Blade one, like Stephen Dorff, like Deacon Frost is up there with some of the best movie bad guys in Cheese Factor as well, but
Yeah.
he is entertaining to watch as fuck in this movie. Like, you can't take your eyes off the screen every time he's on there.
You can't literally take your eyes off his eyes.
Mhm.
The reason I was so obsessed with this movie was nothing to do with Blade. It was everything to do with Stephen Dorff. If this movie wasn't on, Judgment Night was on. I absolutely love that man. But I actually was writing a few notes down to start with before I was getting too far into the movie. And I was like, I can't fuck my notebook. First look of Deacon looks more like a meth head than he does an actual vampire.
Well, you know what? You know what Nick actually said. She went, because with Nick working in like that ambulance service like years ago, she went, he has every single characteristic and look of someone that's having a heart attack. Like,
Oh God, so he's like pre-death.
yeah. So she was like, they've done him really well if they wanted him to look like he is a dead character, because literally every character, every person that she went out to like try and save who was having a heart attack looked like Stephen Dorff did in that movie.
It was just in that opening scene, he just looked like there was something severely wrong with them, and it wasn't to do with vampirism whatsoever.
No.
But he is a uniquely good bad guy.
He's because I think what I liked about Blade as well, they played on the class system, and they did it really well. It was like through the vampire class system, because it was like straight away, oh, you were turned, you weren't born. So they kind of looked down at them. They kind of looked down on him, and he was like, "Fuck that." He was almost rebelling against the society, but doing it the wrong way at the same time. But he was the one that looked into the history and looked into the law and took that shit seriously. So it kind of resonated with me as well. I was like, oh, I kind of get that. I quite like that element, because it could have been just a cheesy naff, like comic book movie, but they went deep with it in them type of elements, and I thought, and how the interaction between, like, say, Stephen Dorff's character and I've forgotten that guy's name. He's been in a few films, but like
Donnell Law.
Donald Law, is it?
I can't say his name properly, but I'm sure it's Donnell Law. He was in SVU. He's fucking class.
No, it was Uda Kerr. Uda Kerr, I think he was called. The dragon.
Oh, Uda Kerr, yes.
The basically
The head of the council.
yes, their interaction.
The guy from Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
It's almost like because it never really tells you like how like Deacon Frost was turned as a vampire, but it's almost like hinted at that he turned him, because their kind of like relationship there. But I quite liked their chemistry and their on-screen like tension, or like sexual tension as well. I thought that played out quite well. And just to give another shout out, one of my all-time vampire crushes, that lass in the white, like, because everyone else was wearing dark and black, she was the only one that was wearing like a white tops, white trousers, white hair. She stood out.
PVC.
She stood out and just looked absolutely fantastic in this movie as well. And again, just smart choices, putting characters like that in them type of roles in them places, so that it has more of an impact. And I think this is what this movie can be described as. It is a movie of a lot of smart choices.
There's the use of, like I was saying earlier, the use of color in this movie is fantastic. The blood being as red as what it is, especially with how you look at it, dark aesthetic. Everything's kind of like undergroundy and gritty, and you've got this bright shining red over it. She is amongst people who are constantly wearing dark clothing, yet the white is so bright that it contrasts with the black. Do you know what I mean? It's just such brilliant choices with the colors that they use in this movie that it kind of gets slightly overlooked, and I could not take my eyes off. That was the one aspect I couldn't really take my eyes off. I mean, I haven't watched this movie in years. And I was like, oh my God, look at the colors.
What about you, Donna? How did... Oh, sorry, Lee.
Oh, sorry. No, go on.
No, I was going to say, Donna, what do you feel about like how they looked in this movie? Like I know you're a vampire of the Nerdy Up North podcast. How did you feel like as a vampire nut, like seeing them in this way?
No, I definitely love the grunge style of the characters. And I like how you can tell it's supposed to be set in the 90s, like with the guy in the Kangol top and stuff. That lass in the white literally looks like she just walked out like some kind of pop band, really.
Yeah, it's because it's not like 80s like white PVC, like White Snake video, is it? It's very 90s shiny PVC, like very rave. It was like the rave scene, wasn't it?
Yeah, like the hairstyles as well.
What were you going to say there, Lee?
I was going to say about that female vampire dressed in white. She was mint, but I've got a bit of disappointment when it comes to her character, which is the lass that Blade rescued, like his little sidekick woman. That what Karen? Sorry, did you say
Karen? Yeah.
She was kicking ass through that film. Like she was like she had a fight against some of the guy vampires. She had a shotgun in the warehouse, shooting loads of them, and then just typical like 90s, 80s movie fashion, they have to have a fighter girl at the end, and that's like her big bad.
Yeah.
And it's like she could have fought anyone. She proved herself against everyone else. It didn't have to be a chick fight at the end.
Could have been her
No,
against
you're
Quinn.
absolutely right.
That would have been quite interesting to see her facing off
Yeah.
against Quinn, because he was a bit of a badass all the way through, even though he was like kind of like the comedy relief throughout the movie type thing.
He was a dick. That's what he was.
But you need that type of relief because
You do.
this film was played out like pretty straight, but there was the odd moment that kind of broke the tension and like you kind of like what the fuck moments. Like
Blade, I've got my hand back. And he chops his other hand off. Fuck's sake.
I think Pearl for me kind of is a bit of a.
Oh God.
I had to ask Ant this morning. I was like, "What is Pearl?" And he
Pearl?
went, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, what is Pearl?
You don't know. She's a
Describe Pearl."
she's a historian. She's the
Do you know
keeper.
how Pearl? Do you know how Pearl feeds? That had to cut out.
No,
He or is it he or she or
I don't. It's just a vampire.
They them.
well they feed on babies. And
Right.
They had
I
in the
remember
script
that.
that there was meant to be babies lying around the floor.
Oh.
And
Oh, Graeme
that
as
would
fuck.
not have went down well, especially not back then.
No.
Oh, that
What
is
about-
grim as fuck.
What
No
a-
wonder Stephen Dorff was happy for them to die. Just die with a bit of fucking dignity.
But I said that was just horrific seeing that, and quite an interesting way where they just burn it to death using UV light as well, just showing. But it's kind of like a slow death as well, so that's quite brutal. But the elements of humor that brought in, like there's one bit I watched back and I ended up rewinding it because it just made us laugh so much. I don't know if it was meant to be funny, but it's when Blades gets shot by the police officers and he just turns around and he goes, "Motherfucker, are you out of your goddamn mind?" It's just like the way he says it as well. It's like, it was like, what the fuck? It was like completely out of character, and then like just with him shouting at them like that, the police officers run away from him. It's like, well, so that's all the poor black man has to do in New York is shout, "Motherfucker, what you doing?" and they run away from him. But sorry, that my
I'm
political.
surprised they still kept shooting at him. If I was a police officer and I saw someone jump out of like the 20th story of a building, 200 meters across to another building, I'd be like, yeah,
Yeah.
Just go.
Yep.
you can go.
Yeah, we'll just leave it. We'll leave it at that. I'd love Chris Christopherson as Whistler though.
In the
I think
first
that
movie.
was-
In the first
in the
movie.
first one, I feel like Chris Christopherson was because they left the character so open ended because it was he going to come back or not? That's why you get this the scene when he goes in after he's been beaten up and left for dead, and my eyes are not initially on that sheet.
Yeah.
I'm looking everywhere else but that sheet, and then when my eye catches it, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about that. He's under there. And I love Chris Christopherson. I thought he was an absolutely perfect fit for Whistler. I wish we got more of that Whistler in the second and third one than what we did.
I like the decision to kill him because it made sense, and it's a difficult one because he is a good character, but bringing him back the way they didn't make sense to me, and I kind of that kind of lost it a little bit. Yeah, exactly, Lee. I thought that was the exact word I would have used, was a cop out. It was kind of like,
It was.
oh shit, we've made a mistake, but you didn't. You added gravitas. You give the character more than
more motivation.
Yep.
It was a plot point. You needed his death in order for him to just be able to keep going because he hasn't had it easy up to this point. You need him to have that motivation because he was all ready to take a cure to cure this and to end it all. But with him gone,
But yeah, so regarding like the first Blade as well. So what was your favorite? Like, take away the start and the original, like say, like the Blood Rave. What was your favorite part of the movie? So I'll go with Donna first. To pick on her, she takes a big sip there.
he always catches you out, doesn't he?
I know, it's always me. That's a hard question. I'm probably going to say when they're trying to get his blood to get the blood god, and they've got him like tied up, and Karen comes in to save him. when he finds out his mother's still there. I like that part, but also just pretty much like every fight scene. It's like you're watching like all the fatalities out of Mortal Kombat. You could
Yeah.
literally say fatality after every one, and it would just fit.
Did no one else freak out when his mother started to look like he was going to neck onto with him?
Oh,
Yeah, no,
Oh,
like it did seem like overly sexual at that point.
yeah.
It was the whole, your mother's been dead for years, and it's like, bitch, you still birthed him. Please stop.
It's like he came out of your vagina. Please do
Yeah.
not, do
please,
not,
please don't get that close
please,
to his face.
please don't try and put him back in the vagina. But yeah, no, there's a mental image for you guys. But oh, just sickened Lee. What about you, Lee? What's your favorite part?
So I mean, obviously the blood rave, which you said. Other than that, the end fight is epic as well. There's one moment which I love, which isn't even anything serious, and it's when that Karen is running around the warehouse and Whistler stops her, and he's like, "I'm Whistler," and then you just see Blade drop down behind her, and there's no sound whatsoever, and then he just stands up and then he's like, "And behind you is Blade." It's like
Did
this
he sound
guy's
like
got.
Adam?
Sorry.
Because all I can hear is Ben Stiller.
Blade.
Oh, behind you is Blade.
So we're
With
gonna
his
we're gonna make
high
love
ninja
tonight.
just dropping around.
Yeah.
Where did we talked about another movie where a character did that, where they just dropped silently in the background, and I made us instantly think of that, and then I couldn't remember what it was.
Was it not there? Let the right one in. I don't know if we've talked about that one, but it's similar type of feel where like the silence
Yeah, they just
makes
like
more.
kind of just drop in the back, and it's like, oh, there he is. But he manages to stealth up as well by doing that. I thought that was pretty clever.
What about you, Sammy? What's your like highlight of the first Blade movie?
I actually really like the ending. I love the idea of the vampiric council and the fact that there is this underground, community, and it does have a hierarchy. I love the fact that when they're doing the sacrifice and they're pulling their kind of like skeleton or so, I don't particularly know what to call it, because with the way the CGI was, I couldn't quite tell if it was a skeleton or it was like their soul. But it was their true form. They're all pure blood, so they're not real. It's not real people, so they wouldn't be a real skeleton under there, and they all had wings. And I thought that was just so fucking clever. And granted, it didn't look the greatest on on a now television, but back in the early late 90s, it would have looked, I think, brilliant. But I love that scene, and anything with Deacon Frost in.
Yeah, cool. I did like the fight scene in the Hall of Records, like how, because it went from really entertaining to absolutely ridiculous and stupid within the matter of seconds. Where like I love the imagery of where he's punching or throwing people through them glass panes, like look great. But there was two parts of that had me pissing myself laughing, that I had to rewind and watch it back. The first one is the little ninja girl who just start kicking Blade's ass and doing all these funky kicks, who Blade just ends up just knocking the fuck out. And the one of the ninja guys, him and Blade start doing roundhouse kicks at each other miles away from each other, and just like doing like almost like a capoeira dance, where it's like, why the fuck are you doing spin kicks at each other where you're not even close to hitting each other? It's like, look, this is my spin kick, look at this is my perfect form. It was almost like, oh, can you rate the back of me heel for us, please? But yeah, it just like
that little girl. It is hilarious that he gets the shit kicked out of him by a little lass, but she probably could beat him up in real life. I can't remember her name, but she is a world championship martial artist.
All right.
So the likelihood is she could literally hand him his ass. Quick question: did you watch the alternative ending, or have you not seen it before?
Can't remember. I watched the one on that was Prime today,
Prime. So that was the original. Like, was like that. The alternative one is where Deacon Frost actually turns into the blood god itself, and Anthony described it to us because he wouldn't. I didn't go and watch it, and he's just said he was a blood blob.
All right, a blood blob.
That's what I got. That's what I got from a blood blob.
Yeah.
Blood
so
blob.
if anyone wants to elaborate on the alternative ending, I'd appreciate it.
Blood blob.
Yeah, the alternate ending doesn't finish there.
Mhm.
So he defeats him exactly the same way. He uses the congealing stuff,
Mhm.
and then him and Karen escape outside, and they're like, "Oh, you're going to take the cure?" And he's like, "No, there's still too many vampires to fight." And then he looks off into the distance, and there's a vampire standing on a rooftop, which is Michael Morbius,
All right.
Yes.
and that was going to
Yes.
be the second movie.
That was going to be the second movie.
Oh, interesting. But
But
sorry,
it did not happen because there was a massive war between ownership, and that doesn't end
Mhm.
with that. It continues throughout the whole thing. So there was a prequel in development in 2008.
Right.
So it was going to. So 2004 is the last Blade film. 2008 going to be a prequel. It was going to feature Stephen Dorff,
Right.
but it kind of got put on a back burner to when then Marvel went, "We're just going to take that back now, thank you," and managed to sneak it back off them. And in 2016, there was talks of an Underworld and Blade crossover.
So interesting. But just to
And-
say as
but
well,
again, Marvel went, no.
no, was that not to do with Marvel selling the rights to of all the Spider universe to Sony?
Potentially, because there was massive arguments over to
Yeah.
where they never got a chance to use it. But that was going to be the second movie.
Interesting.
But
Just to
instead, you
check,
got what you got. You got a Bros brother.
just I'm not going to complain about that, but just before we start on the second movie as well, thank you for joining us, Distant Screams as well. Looks, I don't know if you've seen us before, but thank you for joining us. And Jaws just went, would Morbius use the line, it's Morbin time?
If he didn't, I'd be disappointed. Had it been class, that just in the distance in the background, it's more than
This little speech bubble pops up or something like that. I'm going to say something very controversial now, where because yous two have just said like pretty much yous three has pretty much said that he's liked the ending. I didn't.
Oh, why not?
I thought they overcomplicated it a bit. They went too far and too much. With the like say with Blade's mom, I thought that was a nice thing, but I thought she should have been killed off a lot sooner than she did.
Yeah.
But then like going down to the temple and then having this like the serum that makes some vampires' head explode and stuff like that. I thought it was a little bit too much, and then having Blade doing all these different ninja kicks and firing the syringes into like Deacon Frost's character, just it didn't look great, and the big blob at the end just looked shit. I'll be honest with you. I would have preferred it like say just like a simple one on one, and Blade just like carving him up with his sword would have been a little bit more entertaining for me. But again, I don't like overcomplicated things. I'm a very simple man with simple needs. It's like as I say, so hi to all the mothers again. But yes, but yeah,
I do
You
love
sell
the
out,
way he
man.
just. I do love the way he just jumps in. His glasses are just in hand, and he puts them on though. Oh, and
Every
when he's
movie he does
fighting,
that.
you know, when he's fighting Deacon, he like cuts him in half, but he kind of rejoins, and he just silently looks at the camera, and he's like, says, "What the fuck?"
Yes, I saw that. I was like, oh, that's so cool. But yeah, the glasses where he kind of like
They just appear. And
they're just yeah. But then he does that in all three movies. So the glasses have a mind of their own.
magic glasses. As
Do
Lee,
yours, Lee.
Lee, can you do some magic with your glasses now?
Oh, probably not.
Yes, nailed
Hey,
it.
look at
He
that.
nailed it. Audio
Didn't even
listeners,
see
you've
that quick
yeah.
hand movement.
audio listeners, you've just missed magic there. You've missed the Paul Daniels saw with Lee there. And Donna is Debbie McGree. Do you like it? Not a lot, but you like it.
Oh, crikey. So, movie 2 is 2002, directed by Guillermo del Toro, has not only his actors in there, but his imprint. The henchman. I just looked at Anthem and went, hey, look, it's him. Look.
Yep. But the thing
But
is,
yeah.
though, it's got Del Toro's fingerprints all throughout this
All over
movie.
it. All
Aesthetically, even like the monsters, like the new vampires, like that they said was evolved. Like that look is Del Toro to a T.
So I've got a few questions that kind of mix 2 and 3 together. So apologies if I'm going backwards and forwards. So with the second one, it is Luke Goss, isn't it? It's not Matt. I mean, I should know. I was a huge Bros fan. I'm sure it's Luke.
It's Luke. It
who's-
was Luke. I showed
yeah,
this out. Yeah, Luke.
because Luke's in Hellboy 2, isn't he?
Yes, because
Yeah.
this was his debut in Del Toro's movies.
He's absolutely. I personally think he's an excellent actor, and he was brilliant in Hellboy 2 and this. But so he has a virus. That is a virus, and they talk about how it would get cured, and the mouth thing is part of the virus, right?
Well,
So
the
we
whole
all in agreement-
vampire strain's a virus. That's the thing.
But are we in agreement that that is that is the singular virus that he has right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how come in the third one they have ancient people who have the same virus? I don't get it. The
'Cause-
third one opens up so many questions that the second one I felt answered, and that was it. Pin in it. All done. Full stop.
I think I can answer it. They thought that looks cool. We'll make our bad guy look cool.
I just went straight up my nose.
But so like, what do you think of the look of the new vampires in 2?
It's fucking amazing.
Isn't it?
It's like the vampires in the first one. That blood scene at the beginning is terrifying.
Yeah.
And they've just went, how can we step this up? Let's make the mouth open into some demonic vagina.
A demonic vagina.
Is.
That's going to be new. That's done as a new handle now.
If that's what you think a vagina looks like, my goodness.
Poor Bex.
My God. Oh God, I got Predator.
Yes, very Predator.
I got Predator vibes when the jaw opened up.
Even the sounds as well, like
Yeah.
the sounds they make.
I got very looked like a Predator cross between a squid.
Squiddly diddly,
Yeah,
yes.
Squiddly, yeah.
tentacle looking things in the mouth.
Yeah, like that little whole, but almost like, was it Deep Rising? I think it was called, like the thing that was coming out the attacking the ship and coming out the toilet. Absolutely terrible B movie. Samuel probably's covered on monsters, that no doubt at one point. But
I'm sorry, what was I called again? Let me just get my pen.
I think it's Deep Rising. I think it was called. But no, as Lee said, the thing with the Blade movies, they go hard in the opening, and the opening for Blade 2, it gave me Hostel vibes. Like, it was that kind of like feeling, that kind of like scary, where they're going in, like homeless guys are going to the blood bank to donate blood, and they're like saying, oh, they don't restrict limits, and you can take it in the fucking jar. In the fucking jar, guys. And the guy's shaking it. And you've got Luke Gross as his character, who, if you hadn't seen any of the advertisement, if you haven't seen any of the trailers, you wouldn't have been any known that he's going to be the main bad guy. You just thought, oh, there's a homeless guy taking there. But they asked some interesting questions, like, how did you get your scar? Do you have any family? Do anyone knows you? And he's acting like really nervous, and this is like brilliantly done as well. Because I know people give him a lot of shit for like being an actor, like trying to be an actor and stuff, like, because he's done some awful movies as well. He's done some B movies and stuff, but
he has. I think it's more just to do with his personal life and how his brother, just it's plain and simple as that. His brother. If anyone watched the Luke and Matt Goss documentary, they will know what I mean.
But yeah, like that opening where he's going in the room and they think, oh shit, you're going to see something bad's going to happen, and this is where the film's going to lead. But then you realize like what kind of monster he is. It's fucking horrific, and it's just, as you said, straight out of like the 90s torture porn in a way.
Oh, that's a good way of describing it. I don't see his character as a bad guy. Kind of see him as a bit of an anti-hero, because he is. It's not like he's going out of his way to. It's not world domination he's after. He's pretty much just looking for a fucking cure, and he's looking for a father that kind of abandoned him. So I don't see him as kind of like the big bad. I love to see.
Did he even nominate humans or not?
Yeah,
or
he turned drug dealers and
yeah.
bad guys, because it's got one of the most horrific scenes I've ever seen in a movie, where he puts the guy's face through a car door and he pulls out the pane of glass from his forehead, and it comes out slow, and he starts licking and sucking on the pane of glass, and it's just like, it's horrible.
Oh,
Stop it, man.
Thing, though.
As Donna's watching us saying, oh, where can I get that glass? But what about you, Donna? How did you feel about the new look and the feel of these super vamps, shall we say?
I'm not gonna lie, when I like first saw them, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like I just didn't expect it, but they do look like really badass. Like the moment where he's like vampires, I hate vampires, and he just the jaw like opens. Yeah, they do look amazing.
But
He-
sorry, don't go on.
no, I was gonna say, no, I forget what I was gonna say. Go on.
No, like the whole aesthetic, as we mentioned before, it is Del Toro down to a T. Like the fantasy, the horrific, and trying to make it as scary as possible, because this is the sequel to the Blade. Well, obviously, but they could have dumbed it down. They could have tried to make it more palatable for more audiences to try and make more money, shall we say? But they went, no, we're still going to do it hard, and they went with some interesting choices with actors as well, because like people that we are known for now, but probably is not as well known for in the past. Like Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus.
Um,
Fucking Daryl Dixon being there. Is
a scud.
Spudge.
A scud.
Spudge? Scud? What Dick. I kept saying Anthony, I was like, he's gonna turn, isn't he? And he was like, I think he does. I was like, the little bastard. One thing I'll say before we move on to the characters is just for all that yes, this had Del Toro's fingerprints and markings all over it. The one thing I was pretty disappointed about was his choice of color.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, like Del Toro is quite vibrant,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of it didn't.
It was
that's
more
kind of like what took it away a little bit.
It was blue and greens in this one. That was like the highlights I could see. Like the blue and greens was used. Like even when you got bitten by the new wave of vampires, your blood turned green. Like they used a lot of UV light. And some questionable fight scenes, shall we say?
Hey,
Mhm.
the choreographer on this was Donnie Yen.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it.
It's devastating that he didn't get more action scenes, mind. I remember 3 kicks from him, like wait, all in the same move as well. Like he jumps up and kicks someone 3 times. And
I was
Donnie Yen is like,
I was getting so excited, going, "It's Donnie Yen, man! Fucking Donnie Yen on the telly!" And Anne's going, "Who is he?" And I was like, "Oh shit, hold on, where do I know him from again?"
I'm not a big well-known Donnie Yen fan, but I know he's of some of his work. But was this his first big Western movie, like trying to break through? Because he was.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it was. I'm trying to think what else he was in before this. I mean, I know him from Star Wars, Rogue One. Took me fucking ages to put that one together, by the way. But I don't think this was his first movie.
Is he the Force is with me?
Yeah. I am 100%. One with the Force, and the Force is with me.
And again, I know we did mention it before because I'll come back to the fight scene. I'll give Sammy a little time to stew on that one.
Research.
But the Whistler subplot, like the whole trying to find him, and then they're getting a new comedy like bad guy in like that the Blade's chasing down in Russia, I think it is. The guy who hilariously, when he's wearing like a motorbike helmet and he's putting it up against the wheel, you can see before he hits the wheel like the cut in the helmet where it's going to come apart. It's clearly in there and you can see what's going to happen, and it comes apart. Like I don't care if you're putting on a tire, nothing comes apart that cleanly as well. But the whole Whistler side plot and having to get Whistler back, it kind of derailed where this story could have went or could have been more interesting, because we could have got more Blade. We could have given more screen time to other characters that needed a little bit more freshen out, where Whistler didn't, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's Lee laughing at?
I was just laughing at Chrissy, and I like the Mr. Bean film where they painted Whistler's mum.
I thought a lot while I was watching it as well.
If I just want to go back to Donnie Yen so I can get this off my screen, I think you are absolutely right, Paul. Blade 2 is his first Western movie, but it's not his first choreographed movie.
No, because that's why I was surprised he didn't have much. Like I don't think he even like. I think he has 2 words or something in the whole movie.
He doesn't have any dialogue.
Right, I thought he had
like, no, he doesn't say any dialogue whatsoever.
When he passes the sword to like Adolf, whatever he was called.
Who's Adolf? Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman, but he was called, like, that's what Whistler kept on calling him, because he was called Reinhardt. But
When he called him
Nipplehead.
fucking nipplehead, man.
Nipplehead. But some of the sayings are nipplehead. But
He that decked me, that.
but yeah,
Fucking
because
nipplehead.
I thought when I read back, well, not read, like when this came out, I thought this was introducing Donnie Yen to the Western world, and then he did a few more films after this since then. But this is like a lot of people I went to college with was excited because they had seen him in like martial arts movies or like in Eastern cinema, and this was supposed to be like his big breakthrough because he was supposed to be the next big action star that was coming through. He was going to be the next Jet Li type thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Iron Monkey is the one he's really famous for. That's the one he won all these awards for. But he was working from 1983 movie every year, not even two, and then he gets to Blade 2, and it just goes from strength to strength. He's like Shanghai Nights, Dragon Tiger Gate, Ip Man is the big one.
Yeah. And what were they called? The Blood Pack, were they?
The Blood Pack.
Yeah. Fucking hell. And
the names in this, man.
And they went through every single stereotypical type of person they could, like in a gang. They went from a big burly Russian with a hot little redhead. They went. He was like the hammer.
The Russian girl. What purpose did she have in that whole movie?
I don't care. She needed to be in there for me. That's all she was there for.
She did not fit in at all.
I'll tell you what, I would have fit her in anything. I would have had her anywhere. But yeah,
who I felt didn't fit in was like that amazing fight in front of the air spotlights. There was some bad CGI in it, but it was still really cool.
But that's the thing. That's what's
he takes the mask off. It's like Dwayne Dibley.
Hey, no, Danny John Jules was amazing in this.
Yes, he was.
But it's so unexpected.
Yeah,
like,
no, I really got taken back. I was like, what the fuck?
To use a wrestling term, I marked out in the cinema when I watched this at the cinema and seeing like Daniel Jones. I was like, "Fuck yes, it's the cat from Red Dwarf. He's in a movie. He's going to be big in Hollywood." I was like, "You go, cat!" But then it didn't quite happen. He done Trouble in Paradise for a few years. But no,
he did Labyrinth.
it was Labyrinth was before this. Don't worry. But yeah. The fight scene and the spotlight. One, why the fuck did he turn the spotlight on? That didn't make any sense because Blade
it looked fucking cool.
Yeah, again, that's if you're going to do things for film to look cool, have a reason for it. That didn't make sense. Then the actual fight scene was absolutely brilliant. Some of the best sword fights you've seen in cinema at this point. Cleverly done. How he unsheaths the sword. How he's fighting like just rapport and because he doesn't want to kill them straight away. He wants like to know what's going on, and then they add the CGI elements because one you couldn't physically do them elements like practically, but it added nothing to the fight. The actual CGI parts in because it's like a few frames, like one when they jump up the air and Blade gets kicked to the floor, then does his little kick up, then does a 360 somersault for no reason. No reason at all. Like why would if you're attacking someone with a sword, why would you need to do a 360 somersault with a sword? But yeah, it didn't make sense. It didn't add anything to say. It kind of detracted. And like that scene could have been one of the best sword fighting scenes like practically done. That was ruined a little bit by CGI.
CGI, no. Anthony kept pointing out the CGI moments, and I was like, "You really don't need to, mate. I've got eyes. I can see." But I feel like this is at a time where CGI is kind of like just at the forefront. Like it's just starting to emerge, and it's I says when we're watching it, I feel like they would just. We've got it. We're gonna just fucking use it in every which way that we possibly can, and for all that it might not work, it might work. I just feel like there was just. I think this is like a tester for CGI. You want to look if he's a movie that tests out all of CGI from 2002. It's Blade 2.
But then, like all the way through the fight scenes that seem to go from this point, they were having them in ridiculous areas. Like it almost become like a Mortal Kombat stage. Like when Blade fights Luke Gross's Jared Nomak for the first time. It's on this platform, like almost like in a church. Where there's like the platform's like about a foot, like that foot wide each. Why would you decide to have your first face-off or fight where it's not sure footing, it's not solid ground, fair enough, it looks great because you're above the air and it gives that little like sense of, oh, someone's going to fall off. But as a fighting point stance, it takes away like that realm of like realistic. And then like throughout, like the ninjas or the vampires were doing kick flips off walls. Like Blade one time runs at the wall, kicks off it, and fires back round to stab him when he could have just turned around and stabbed him. It was like, why the fuck are you like making? Fair enough, it's like, oh, that's a cool move, but it's like in a real fight, like it's wasted motion, and that kind of thing kind of took it away and took the element out. Like on Blade 3, the most ridiculous one, and it's just a little thing, is they're going down the walkway, and one of the vampires jumps to fight Blade, and he lands on the handrail. He lands standing on the handrail, and he just stands there going, ha! And Blade just stands, looks at him, kicks someone else, then swipes his legs and stabs him. It's like he doesn't even try and attack Blade. He jumps down, stands on the handrail, and goes ha.
Nice.
So it's like
there's a lot of weight in these movies, isn't
Yeah.
there?
it's like it's
Yeah.
it's like we could all just attack him at the same time, but no, we've got to let him do 16 kicks and 16 flips. Oh, he's done his cool little motion now. Let's attack him, or let's throw my punch. It's like
It's just a typical movie trope, though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
quick, everyone attack him separately, give him a chance to defend himself. Instead of in Blade 1, they all surround him at one point and capture him.
Yeah.
And it's like that's because they needed to progress the film.
Yeah.
Those are the reasons.
Yeah. This one, they just needed to slow it down a bit. Did anyone recognise who played Daddy Dearest, Luke Goss's dad?
oh, I can't remember now. What was he?
He's in. I can't remember his actual character name now, but he's in Winter Soldier and Age of Ultron. He is Von Strucken.
I can't remember. Was it
We
Tom?
will never surrender. Tell them we will surrender.
Right.
That's him. It took me. I was like, I know them. I know that face somewhere. And then I
Mm.
was like, oh, if that's all I remember him from, he kind of made a bit of an impact then, because he's not in it very long.
But yeah,
I do love his aesthetic as well, though. Like, he's very much like the master out of Buffy.
It's the robe
Like,
for
that
me.
kind of
He's like trying to get away as quickly as possible. I'm like, take your fucking robe off, mate. You will move faster. I promise you.
To be fair though, when you're watching the movie, it's like spotting the who's who out of like who's done certain films or certain TV shows in America. A lot of people did get the starting point. But again, so what elements of Blade 2? I was just making sure that Donna didn't take a swipe of the thing there. What elements of Blade 2 did you find like stood out for you the most, Donna?
Probably the fights in the tunnel. And I would say some of the like comedic lines. Oh, you know when they go into the like rave bit when the I can't remember who. Reinhardt, when he's got pointing the laser at Blade, and he's like, "Oh, I could just shoot him," but he's already got the laser pointing back, and then Blade just gives us like really cringy smile at him. That's definitely a standout moment.
There was a lot of like little moments like that through this film where it's like this doesn't quite fit in with the character that Blade's got, but I did like the fact that Blade always has one up on Reinhardt, but the fact that he just smiles at him with a cheesy smile, just it was kind of like, yeah. But like what I did like as well, they went into the anatomy of the new vampires as well, and that was grotesque as fuck, but also so cleverly done how they like explained how, yes, this is why they're so difficult to stab. This is why they don't react to certain things. It's like they've been genetically altered or manufactured to be the ultimate killing machine, so that their species became the most dominant. Because to be honest, like vampires have a lot of plus things for them, but fuck, they must be easy to kill. All you have to do is shine a bit of light on them or stab them in a certain way, and they turn into like explosion off.
Give him some garlic bread.
Oh, I'll just like say, I'd give him a silver fork to eat his nachos with, or something like that.
Oh, fuck!
Do we eat nachos with a fork?
Me, because I don't like making a mess. I don't like getting stuff in my beard.
Oh god!
Yeah, like
that scene.
The heart's like encased in bone as well, isn't it? So it's harder to reach.
It's kind of like the because they were even though the body was the brain was dead, the body was still alive. It was still hungry. It was still
Yeah.
thirsting, because that's the word they quite like to use in these movies.
It reminds us of
That's-
Lee when he sees the blood of a virgin. He gets that thirsting about him, and he's like, "Oh,
Don't
Hobo
let
Lee
the
is going to
thirst-
come
Oh,
don't
now."
let the thirst get you. You don't let that thirst get you.
Lee gets his claw hammer out, and he says, "I'm going to become a truck driver today." But yeah,
We ordered food last night, and I paused it on that very scene, the autopsy scene, as I went to go and get me food, sorted it out, came in. I says, Anthony, can you just press play a second? And he was like, why so quickly? I went, because I didn't fancy fucking eating me food and looking at that at the same time. Like, that was pretty detailed. And then I remembered who the director was and thought, well, of course it's detailed, it's Del Toro. he's gonna show you everything.
you know what I did love about this movie as well, and that's just jumped in my
Sorry.
head as well. One of the things that did stand out is they kind of
Oh.
showed one, like, because you got the princess vampire. I've got her name now. She was proud of being a vampire, and Nissa, what she's called, Nissa, I think she was called. She was like proud and not ashamed of who she is, and she was kind of like made Blade ask questions about himself, saying, "Why are you ashamed of who you are, what you are?" type thing. You don't have to live your life against us, type thing. You could live your life any which way you want, and it kind of raised that type of morality question as well, like, because she was born a vampire, she didn't have a choice. It wasn't like, say, thing. But and again, like, her line when she dies as well is when she was starting to turn, she's like, I want to die a vampire. So Blade takes her out and sees the sunshine for the first time, which is again like quite a strong moment. You don't get many vampires using that type of an argument in these type of movies. It's normally like, we're evil, this is cool type thing, where she was like, no, it's just who I am. It's almost like I
Yeah.
can't help who I am. So I
Yeah,
thought
and
that was quite
she
an
come
interesting take.
I actually really enjoyed that character. She come to grips with who she was a long time before you get to meet her in this movie.
Mhm.
And you're right. The vampire trope is we're evil, so let's just do evil things.
Mhm.
You know, let's be bad guys for the sake of being bad guys. And she wasn't like that.
Mhm.
I loved her costume, the hair clip in the back of her hair. She looked striking. I would have liked to have seen more of her. I'm pretty sad that she died, but she would never have continued into Blade 3, let's be
No,
honest.
well, like I said, Blade's renowned for not liking characters to carry over, shall we say. Like the poor lass from the first one, you just don't even get mentioned.
Karen
Yeah.
who?
Who was like, did Karen exist in this universe at all?
Yeah,
Um,
because at the end he says you can make more like serum for us, and then she just disappears.
yeah.
Karen had enough.
Karen said Blade's just a dick, so fuck you off. Or Scud had his way with her, and he was like, "No, I'm not dealing with Scud anymore. I'm not dealing nothing about with someone called
Fucking
Scud."
Scud, man. Oh my god, that line where he's like, I'm one of their familiars. Fuck off, man.
One person I want to talk about, and I thought he was absolutely brilliant in this film as well, Ron Perlman.
Oh, Ron Feldman, the man can do no wrong.
He's just entertaining from the moment he's in. Like, he made like Alien Resurrection kind of watchable with his character in that as well. But in this, I thought he was just having fun being the bad guy, being the monster. And his little temper tantrums from time to time was hilarious. When like priests getting killed and no one wants to like shoot him, he like throws the table over. It's like, God damn it! Just someone take him out! And it's like it's just quite entertaining to watch, to be honest.
Yeah, he's such a good character. I mean, it's Ron Perlman. He's just class. But I said to Anthony when these guys were introduced, I was like, "Fuck, I am getting mega aliens vibes from this. Like the whole crew aspect. Like I just need Bill Paxton to walk in at some point." And then Anthony went, "Alien Resurrection," and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah."
I've got to ask a question though to Lee. Lee, do you blush?
Oh. Wesley Snipes put that in because somebody actually asked him that in real life. Obviously, like, very racist.
Right.
But it was like, oh, this would be an amazing moment to put in, and they just went along with it. But I love their pissing contest that
Yeah,
Wesley
them
Snipes
too.
and Ron
Right.
Perlman have all the way through.
Mhm.
And Blade's like, it doesn't really seem like he's got a strategic mind ever throughout the whole trilogy. It is just, what's your plan of attack? Attack!
Yes.
But to go in to this group that have been training for years just to kill him,
Mhm.
and he basically goes in, picks the biggest guy, and makes him his bitch.
Mhm.
It's good.
It's
Ooh,
like,
I'm
that's
scared.
It's a bully.
see from
Well, it's a bullying tactic, isn't it? When it comes down to bullies, you always go for the biggest one. You take them out, the rest of them all just like fall. But the
So,
fact
so
that
why do we always pick on Chris?
why do you always pick on Chris?
It's not just me.
Because
I
all
am
too
not
scared
saying
to pick on
anything
Adam.
else to upset Chris.
Chris is a dick. But yeah, I posted it here. It's true. So which character stood out for you the most, though, Donna?
Oh, that's tough.
Got a thing in now.
I did like. How do you say her name? Is it Nissa?
Nissa or something like that.
I liked her, but
Nissa or something. Nissa.
the
Isn't that a
story
shock?
with the dad and Nomak definitely stood out for me.
Yeah, it was really sad. Like, because she's quite a strong woman all the way through this, and it kind of gets her like broken down a little bit that she is just a pawn in her dad's plan. But to be fair, though, I know it's gonna sound really insensitive and impersonal, but if you're a vampire and you've got a million babies or a million sires or a million kids, would you really be bothered as much about individuals? Like you might have a
I
favorite,
guess not.
but as a whole, because you do get people who like not to get like go off track, but you got people who like train armies and stuff like that, and they send the soldiers off that they know are going to die. It's kind of like that type of relationship where I think the scuzzy lawyer, because there's always got to be a scuzzy lawyer, says to them, said, "You've already lost so many men. How many more do you have to lose?" And he just goes, "All of them. I don't care till we get what we want," type thing.
Yeah. Scuzzy lawyer, you need to be eaten by a T-Rex for sure. Oh, I really enjoyed I'm gonna say Luke Goss.
Mhm.
Thought he was class.
Yeah, I thought it was such an interesting character and quite a lot of depth in it as well. Like, because that could have been just a one-note bad guy that could have been like almost Joker-esque type thing.
Really complex. Really like I don't know. It's just that his tone of voice as well was quite chilling. It's like, oh, when he spoke, you kind of like you had to listen to what he was saying. He demanded your attention with the way that he spoke.
Almost like you, Sammy.
Almost like me.
The voice of the BBC. What about you, Lee?
Ron Perlman. Just any moment that he's in is just gold. Like, you know that he's going to fight Luke Goss at the end, like Blade. But there's all this tension all the way through with Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
And it's like, and he's like teasing him with his button, and it's like beeping in the back of his head, and it's like, oh, when's it going to happen? And then even when he takes it out, it's like, oh, right, now something has to come of it. They're going to have a proper fight. And Blade coming up out of that blood pool, man.
Yeah,
and that's what got us with it. When I was referring to earlier, it's watered down. I was like, oh my god, if they had the blood from the first one in that moment there, that would have been beautiful.
And then they spoiled it with the glasses.
just a little bit, just a
Yeah,
tiny
it's like
little bit.
This moment where he's like going to be the ultimate badass and looks fucking unreal, and you get Whistler going, "Hey, Blade!" hikes them at him, and Blade doesn't even move. Just goes, and it's like, yeah, that kind of didn't need.
It's unnecessary, but it still looks badass.
We're gonna
really badass.
We're gonna have to try and we're gonna have to try and demonstrate this now. We're gonna have to go to a place where Donna's standing there, like with the back to us, and we all have to throw stuff at her and see what she can catch.
See if she can catch them. Donna, catch! Just whoosh. Oh, I was going to say something on the back of what Lee was saying. Now I've totally forgotten. My train of thoughts just gone.
What were you going to say?
I use that moment of coming with the dad. How fucking creepy is his fingers? His creepies are so.
Wait,
They're like
wait, there.
Salad
What-
fingers.
Salad. We'll just get a bit of like explain there. Who's he fingering?
Probably Lee.
All right, it's salad fingers and Lee. But yeah, I know. It's very like Nosferatu in the type of look and feel. I'm glad they went with the old school look of like the bad guy and stuff like that. That made it a little bit more. But as you said, Del Toro always was gonna like try and get more down the classical Universal look because he is such a like a Universal Monsters fan as well.
Yeah, he's so much of a fan that when he asked to do a remake of Creature and Universal said no, and he went, fucking fine, I'll do my own.
and some say, not me, but some say they did it better. But yes, controversial there.
I can't argue with either because one is brilliant and the other one is even more brilliant. I'm just not going to tell you which one's which.
And one won Oscars and one, yes.
Would have.
Can I give some shout outs to Scud getting owned like multiple times through this film and well deservingly as well. Like Whistler comes back and he's like trying to like do all of this stuff and it's like, no, Whistler's the like top dog here. Fuck off, Scud. And then he goes to grab the gun and Scud's like, hey, you can't use that. Fucking get away, son. And whacks him in the face.
And he doesn't even try and fight back though, that's the thing. He just takes it, the little bitch.
And then the end just with the, by the way, it's not a dud.
But and even his reaction there, you would think he would react a little bit more. And he's just like, "Oh shit!"
He could have threw that, but he was like,
that was a lot of Norman Reedus being splattered everywhere. That I was like, that's one person because that's a lot for one person.
One question I've got to arise about Blade: how quick does he fucking heal to other vampires? Because he got like metal things pushed through multiple holes in his arm, his legs, and he, like in other orifices wherever they poked through. And when he jumped in the blood pool, fair enough, he didn't even have a scratch. Where Ron Perlman like still had the burn marks and still had like scars from hours after being torched by the light bombs. Now, like I said, that to me is where Wesley Snipes should have went, yeah, a bit of continuity here. Let's have a little bit of like roughage. Let's make it. Or it's either him saying, "Shit, I'm Blade. I don't have scars. I don't look like I've had a bad time." But that
I
kind
took
of
that in a like in a way that I always thought Blade heals slower, but then he gets to ingest a lot of blood, and that's what makes him heal so quickly.
right.
Whereas like the Ron Perlman guy hasn't had that intake of blood. So
All
he
right.
wouldn't heal as quickly.
Yeah, so I'm getting schooled
It's a
by
good way
Donna
of looking
now.
at it.
Yeah,
it's a good way of looking at it because you've got to think he is controlled by what he gets, isn't he? Blade, he gets what he gets, and it's enough to keep him to the level of where he's been. But then he's bathed in the blood of many.
Yes.
And
Like on
kinda
the first movie when he's like practically on like death's door, but then Karen gives him the blood and he does the scream because he's got like all the healing power going.
she should have died right there, and then I'm just going to point that one out.
It would have made more sense to the film.
For how long they were there,
but then
she should be dead.
But that would have been quite an interesting talking point from the second movie perspective, because if Blade was by himself, if Whistler had died, he'd killed Karen, he'd been more tortured, and we would have got a more interesting Blade in this movie. Because
good point.
Because that's the one, like a lot of characters through franchises and everything do get a lot of growth. I don't think Blade changes or grows at all through these all three films. He stays exactly the same Blade that he is from Blade 1 to the end of Blade, and I think that's a missed opportunity like for the movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lee looks like
totally,
he's disagreeing.
Agree. No, I agree.
With your shiny hair there, Lee. Thank you.
Lee, your fringe is looking very on point today, I might say. Like it's you're going back to the emo stage. Are you showing elder emos that you are still here?
I feel like I am. Actually, yesterday I was at the Metro Centre and went to Jen's Metal MC stall, and I got Laura a T-shirt saying "emo in the making" or something like that. So, yeah, emo's
never
back,
left
man.
the emo scene.
Hey, Shout out to Metal MC.
Yes,
Lovely
Jen, who's doing some stickers for us as well. So we might have some new stickers soon.
Yay, shiny stickers.
I've asked for shinies as well.
Yay! So Blade 3.
Yes.
Wait, you
There-
missed out something from
Okay.
Oh,
Blade.
what?
You've got to mention this guy. The guy with the helmet with the bike that you mentioned.
Mhm.
At the end, you see him going into that fucking Impala Scarlet. And you
Oh,
get Blade coming in.
Of
Oh,
course,
yes.
Donna remembers the prostitute scene.
I forgot
Getting
about
his
that
tissues
guy.
and his razor blades out, and he's like, "Didn't think I forgot about you, did you?"
But the whole scene is creepy as fuck. Though when he's going in, he's like, "Oh, just to get the blood flowing."
Creep.
But he has the thing is, how's the women? Are they alive? Are they very alive or something like that? And he's like, yeah, kinda. Think so.
You're in for a shock because he's massive and he's got a sword. So Blade 3 is directed by the writer of the first movie,
Mhm.
which is David S. Goyer. Comes out in 2004, and what a shit storm of a movie this is. Not just what you get on the screen, but everything behind the scenes.
Yeah, Lee's got some interesting facts he's going to throw at us from behind the scenes.
I've-
Oh, no, Sammy, you can tell this.
Can
if
I
you
just
want.
give the one that really tickles my funny bone so badly that I'm so glad Ant give us a heads up, because otherwise I think I would have choked. the end scene.
Mhm.
So when he's on the slab,
Yeah.
and he's lying down,
Mhm.
Wesley Snipes threw an absolute fucking hissy fit before going onto this scene that he refused to open his eyes.
Right?
They CGI'd his eyes open. Look at the scene again, and his eyes are CGI. They are not fucking real.
Wow.
And I am so glad Ant told me that, because I would have wet myself. But yeah, he took a huge hissy fit and refused to open his eyes. But this says he was awful during this. He did a Daniel Day-Lewis and was like, he called me Blade, and nobody was to call him Wesley.
He wouldn't talk to Ryan Reynolds on set, would he, or something like that?
Because he was being in character. But Ryan Reynolds says, I've never met Wesley Snipes. I've only ever met Blade.
See, I feel like this is probably because of Ryan Reynolds.
Really?
Imagine Wesley Snipes having to spend like a year of shooting listening to Ryan Reynolds make all of these jokes and like ad libs and stuff. Like when they're walking along and he's like, and you might want to try blinking once in a while. That's not in the script. And he just stops and like death stares him. And it's like, that's not Blade, that is Wesley Snipes.
But this was Ryan Reynolds' big break, though, wasn't it? This was his.
Well, that's what I was asking Ant, because he looked. But I was thinking, is this before or after? What's that movie? Amityville, because he looks the same physique wise,
Yeah.
beard wise, than what he did in Amityville. So I didn't know where they lay
I
with
think-
each other. I mean, I could have
He's
googled
done
it, but I
a few
didn't.
things before. He started off in Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza
Pizza,
Place.
Hey.
yeah.
I fucking love
Great
that.
TV show.
And then after
And
that,
it's
he
also
goes
starring the
on to
amazing Nathan
Cinema with
Fillion,
Van
just
Wilder.
saying. Yeah.
It's Johnny.
Oh yes, Nathan Fillion.
Yeah,
He was always
yeah.
Johnny to us from Two Guys and a Girl.
you
And then he
you,
did,
you
Van
can only
Wilder
call
as
him
well,
Captain.
Which is a fucking amazing movie.
Which movie did you say? Sorry,
Van Wilder.
Van Wilder.
National
Yes.
Lampoon?
I fucking love Van Wilder. I
Yes.
think it's so funny.
I'm not sure. If,
It probably hasn't dated very well.
no. Like the ball scene with the bulldogs. Just
Nope,
no.
nope.
But yeah. This was because I know he did a few little like breakout movies and stuff, but this was supposed to be his one to go mega stardom, and I'll say it. He is the best thing in the movie.
Yeah, I don't think he's the worst
No.
at all.
I think his name's horrific. Hannibal King. It's
I feel he chose that.
it is a comic book character though.
Is
It is part of Blade history. Like it is one of the
Blade
comics.
Law.
Blade Law.
Right.
There was a lot of choices in this movie. Can I just give a shout out to Triple H?
Yes.
Oh.
In this, for some
Didn't do a
reason,
pedigree.
for
Pissed
some-
off about that.
for some reason, having silver teeth or not silver platinum teeth in this for a vampire.
Choices.
Did he have his fangs removed, or was he just playing vampire? But yeah, that was an interesting choice.
But it was a weird choice, but I love Triple H. He's one of the best bad guys ever. Not just in
Really?
this, just in life.
Mhm.
Like, he loves playing a bad guy,
That's a
especially
bold
like in
statement.
WWE.
I would have liked, again, I'm going to go on record as saying, if Parker Posey and Triple H were the main bad guys in this movie and they just left off the whole
Oh.
Dracula subplot or
Oh, please, no. Oh, God.
um,
My
of
toes are going to curl.
of Dominic Purcell, which was a strange choice for the movie,
Awful choice.
but I can understand why they're using Dracula because Blade and Dracula did cross horns so many times in the
Well, it's-
Marvel comics as well.
Well, no, that's his debut in 1970 is from Tomb of the Dracula,
Mhm.
which is where Blade is first brought into it. So it does make sense to have Dracula.
Mhm.
But why Dominic Purcell?
Yeah.
One, he's tiny. Two, he's fucking uninterested. He's really an uninteresting person. He's bland as fuck.
He had the most boring eyes. Like when he was
Did
looking at things, I
he?
was like, just show a bit of personality, just try and sparkle a little bit. I would have even
You're
liked Edward Cullen.
Dracula!
I would like Edward Cullen to pop in just to give you a little bit of a fluffer up or anything like that.
It was absolutely terrible choice for that mind. Didn't mind the fact it was Dracula.
No?
Loved the idea.
I love Dominic Purcell as well.
Turn
Like-
him off.
But the whole
Someone-
the whole tone of this movie, like, it kind of shifted because Blade 1 and Blade 2 was all, as you said, dark colours, set in the night, set thing. This was mostly in the daytime. A lot of the things, and seeing Blade running around in the streets during the day didn't quite have the same effect as them running through like in the night. It kind of it felt like a made for TV movie.
Yeah, kind of. Jessica Biel. So they had to. They had a theater
Mhm.
run and like a trailer going, and someone added in there Jessica Alba playing Whistler, and not Jessica Biel. Had to be removed instantly, and the name changed.
Oh dear.
Kind of stand her. Really kind of
Oh, I
stand.
know you've said in the past you're not a fan.
I'm not a fan of Jessica Biel. What really annoyed the pants off us though is the product placement of the iPod. And
They really were sold that hard today, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh, the fact that he had
That
to
whole thing makes
explain
no
to
sense.
Blade.
That whole thing makes no sense. Like, oh, she likes to listen to playlists while she's.
But I'm
killing
going to give you an
vampires.
in-depth. I'm going to give you an
How can
in-depth
she hear?
breakdown of why she does.
Oh.
Okay.
Right.
It's but the headphones. I'm sorry. We've all used headphones in the past.
Mhm.
Them fuckers would get caught on everything, and they'd be ripped out of her ears. I couldn't
Right.
even do the gardening one time without me hand catching it and being pulled out.
Do you guys ever, like, you'll go out walking somewhere? Do you ever have headphones in while you're walking around?
Yep.
Yeah,
Now, if you walk down some dodgy looking alley, do you take your headphones out?
absolutely.
Actually,
Yeah,
I've not been known to
people
do it in
coming
the
up
past,
behind
but
you.
I do.
I was
now,
going
yeah.
to say though, if you're done, she puts a blindfold on because she's
See, I have-
expecting a good time.
Go out and
I
fight
have
vampires
these.
listening to music.
I mean, our perception would be completely off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because the music would be thrown at her, she wouldn't have a clue. It's a ridiculous choice, Lee.
Mm.
Just didn't get it. I'm not a fan of hers, but I do want to make a retraction. We said so Parker Posey. I
Mhm.
really like Parker Posey, and Anth was like, "Why don't we see her anymore?" And I says, "Well, she was in Scream 3, but according to Dan, she's a Nazi sympathizer."
Right.
And
Oh,
he was
wow.
like, "Oh shit, wow, okay." And then he went and Googled it, and he was like, "You fucking idiot." Posa Parker was the Nazi sympathizer, not Parker Posey. And I was like, who the
So,
fuck's that? And he went, who the fuck cares?
You've just outed someone as a Nazi and you've slandered her, poor bit.
No, but
Oh,
but
I
he's
can't wait
saying
for that
it's-
lawsuit to come in.
No, he was saying it was a common thing when it came out that she was branded this sympathizer when in actual fact it's someone who uses a name very similar to hers, but in the other way around.
At
So
least,
God bless you, Parker Posey.
at least we found out what happened to Dexter's dad.
Hey, Harry.
Oh,
But like, I don't know. I'm going to say some positive stuffs about this movie. Like, Ryan Reynolds was
Can you?
absolutely
Oh, yeah.
hilarious. Say he was entertaining as fuck to watch. He did have, even though Wesley Snipes hated him, he did have good chemistry in this. I thought Parker Posey had great chemistry with Ryan Reynolds. Them two batting off each other was the thing. I think if you used Triple H a little differently, that would have come up across more imposing. I would have even preferred to have Triple H as Dracula. I thought that would have looked more better and looked more interesting. And more,
Anything would have looked more
would have
better
been.
than Dominic Purcell.
I do like the little pom. I thought that was hilarious. Little pom vampire.
It's when Ryan Reynolds realizes, because obviously he's seen that the Poms is got the fangs, and when he realizes the two other Rottweilers coming up behind him, he's like, "Oh shit, they're gonna win all, aren't they? We're fucked." Oh, I do love that. The Pomeranian was cute though.
So, did you like anything of the movie there, Donna?
I was mixed on it, but I'm gonna say I didn't mind Dominic Purcell. I didn't hate him as much as you guys, but I think that's because I had a soft spot for him after Prison Break.
Yeah,
No,
this
definitely.
is why I love Dominic Purcell as well, because Prison Break is mint.
Yeah, but he was entertaining in Prison Break. Well, he wasn't entertaining, just he had more entertaining people to bounce off. He just played the wounded victim in Prison Break.
In this, I kind of got the vibes that they wanted him to go in that like has like a kind of empty personality vibes. I thought that that's what they were going
Like
for.
vacuum type thing, possibly.
Like because he's been alive for like so long, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I did like Ryan Reynolds in it. The way that when Blade gets arrested, and they're like, "Oh, who's going to help you now?" And then Ryan Reynolds just smashes through the glass out of nowhere. I did like that.
This is your rescue, Blade.
There was a line. This is the greatest line in any movie and in any franchise ever. That I hope was ad-libbed. If it wasn't, I'd be disappointed. You cock juggling thunder cunt.
That's the best insult ever.
I think we should call each other that every time we meet each other, like, "Hey, you cock juggling thunder cunt."
I love you, man.
Love you.
It felt like a line straight out of Deadpool.
Yes.
It really did. It felt like a line straight out of Deadpool. And then me and Nance were like, how many superhero movies has Ryan Reynolds now got under his belt?
To be
'Cause he's got
fair,
this.
in the new Deadpool, we could actually see Hannibal King versus Deadpool. So he is killing the
That would
Fox
be
University. So
that would be interesting.
there is rumors that Wesley Snipes is going to be blading up in Secret Wars as well.
Oh my god, I love. Do you know what? I love the fact that Mahershala Ali is going to be taking the Blade name and going forward with it, and I feel like he's going to be taking this really seriously. Like he needs to. This needs to make a statement. It needs to make a point. But I said to Ant last night, it will be a fucking travesty if Wesley Snipes is not at least brought into it in some measure, because he was fucking fantastic as this character.
Secret Wars is like the rumors. I know.
Love that.
I know. Nicolas Cage is supposed to be making his Marvel debut as Johnny Blaze in Deadpool as well.
Fucking man, get them all back in. I absolutely love that idea.
Yeah.
I was going to say something about the. Never mind. It'll come back to us.
The only thing, again, because I know, as you said, this movie was plagued with backstage shenanigans, to say the least.
All because of Wesley Snipes.
But even certain things Blade did during this movie that kind of felt weird, like when the warehouse blew up and Whistler died. That scream, like that weird scream he did, like, and then pausing when all the police kind of surround him type thing. It was kind of like, I don't understand where this is going. And then, what was the team called? The Night Stalkers, were they? Was that
Better than the
Yeah,
blood
the
sport.
because that's when he said it sounds. What was it? I wrote it down somewhere. It was something about being a knockoff like cartoon on a Saturday morning.
I just remember him going, "We were gonna go with the Care Bears, but that one was taken." But I feel like that must be an ad lib by Ryan Reynolds.
I just think Ryan Reynolds was saying stuff on set just to try and get like a reaction or kind of like something from Wesley Snipes, just to see how far I could probably push him.
Possibly. I mean, I've just remembered what I was going to say. So Wesley Snipes' character, this one might be a bit different because they cut his dialogue by 80%.
Yeah.
They cut, so he barely says 1,000 words. because of how fucking difficult he was being. This is like your punishment. You're not getting it. You're not going to talk. You're just going to have to listen to Ryan Reynolds for the rest of the time.
And I'm sure they must have put stuff in just to wind him up as well, because you could see his reaction when that psychiatrist guy is talking about like sexually being attracted to blood, and you can see like Wesley Snipes kind of looking at him like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like it's kind of like a real reaction in that moment type thing. But yeah, like there's loads of like. Spot if you like want to spot a character from like American movies or TV shows, this is the movie to do it. There's a whole host of little cameos. Like that psychiatrist is one of the guys who does the like commentary on Pitch Perfect.
That's who it is. Oh, that was doing my head in. I was like, where do I know him from? Parker Posey could have been replaced with Elizabeth Banks, and I would have never known the difference. You could have quite easily swapped them two out halfway through.
But you could say that you could say the same about the Hunger Games. Like say they could have
The
been
pair of them look exactly alike, and I was like, I could quite easily see Elizabeth Banks in here, but I could also see Parker Posey playing Effie Trinket.
Yes,
I quite like this.
So someone's just sent the chat. Yes, the Night Stalkers. That's what they were called.
The Night Stalkers.
The fucking Night Stalkers. But
the names.
But they had that terrible vampire shop scene with the farting vampires. And
I cringed so hard.
The Dracula vibrators and Dracula, wasn't it?
Yeah, Dracula.
That made me laugh.
What was that goth kid gonna do to Dominic Purcell, man? Like when he's like squaring up to him, like, "What? You want to kiss me, pretty boy?" And it's like, even if he wasn't a vampire, he's gonna fuck you up.
I had to pause it here because I needed to go somewhere, and I noticed that they were called Goth Guy Wannabe and Goth Vixen Wannabe in the credits.
Right.
Really?
Oh god. But like, she got an ultimate fantasy though. She probably loved it a little bit when he starts biting her, but like again, it's just a scene that's not done well. It could have been more scary and more intimidating, but instead it's just more cringe. At times I was like watching the episode. It was like I was watching an episode of The Office.
The dialogue is so bad. It's just cheesy.
Yeah.
Like that, "You want to kiss me, pretty boy?" And Whistler like saying, like, "Too bad we got to take on all the vampires. Now we got to take on the rest of the world too."
And do you know what's really bad is the guy who directed it wrote the first one.
Yeah.
And the first one has some amazing dialogue, and it's like, what the fuck happened?
And the guy who wrote it, and the guy who directed had something to do with it was one of the writing team on The Dark Knight and on Batman Begins. So he knows how to write good comic book dialogue or scenes. It's just, I think, again, probably studio influencing. We need to do this. We need to show this aspect.
That's what was pissing off Wesley Snipes in the first place, was the studio input was far too much, but he just took it out on everyone else.
Yeah, but the one scene again, and I know it's a movie, and I know you're supposed to suspend disbelief and be all yay. But the scene where they have the face-off on the top of the building, like Blade versus Dracula, and Dracula's holding the baby, and he's your weakness is you care too much about these humans, these ants, and Blade's just stand there looking at him, and he goes, "Haha, I'm gonna get away now," and throws the baby in the air, and instead of just going over to catch the baby, he does a somersault to the left. That probably took more time than taking a sidestep to catch the baby. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be a cool catch this baby. It's like, dude, you nearly dropped the baby because you wanted it to look cool. You're a dick.
Yeah, but we'll get the little coochie coo bitch.
Oh, we need that sound bite now. Donna going, coochie coo.
that scene
Chris,
annoys
cut
me
it.
so much because you've got like this like fancy warrior Dracula guy, and he's just fucking running away from Blade, and then they're like the scene where they're running up about 10 flights of stairs, and they make it look like now they don't even break a sweat. Like
I
I'm
was
out of breath
exhausted
after
looking at
like
them.
one fucking flight.
Yeah. I was exhausted watching them, and I was like, is this going to end soon?
Lee would be dead. He would just pass out on the floor and say, "Just leave me. I'm gone. It's over."
He got
He
one
says
step.
he's this big warrior. Like, why are you just running away? Why are you not fighting them?
But then, yeah, at the end, he does have the whole speech. It's like, "Oh, they wanted the perfect vampire. they've got you type thing. But then they again do the ultimate cop out. It's like, how can we kill Dracula with a virus? It seems like they went through every playbook and went, right, like we'll play dot to dot with any little thing that we can do that make it this every bit as uninteresting as it can be. And it's sad to say that because the characters were really good, they're quite interesting, and they had the groundwork to make this something special, and it kind of just fell flat. And again, just to go back, because I feel like I'm shitting on the movie, so I'm sorry anyone who's listening. We don't normally do this, but it is hilarious. The bit where Blade breaks out the jail, they're surrounded by cops, like they can't get anywhere. And the
Yeah.
escape is some dude in the car just pulls up and goes, "Get in, dudes!" and drive
But
off.
they
And
do nothing.
Yeah, and the police don't chase him. Like,
I says, and they're surrounded by police. Why aren't they moving forward? How is that car even getting there in the first place? If this was real life, they'd be all over it. But
Yeah.
no, they just stood back. Another time of waiting.
and
Let's
again,
just wait.
and
Wait and see what happens.
Not to say I'm being stereotypical or anything as well. Like the running this when the chase scene, as Donna said, through New York in the daylight, you've got a like a 6 foot odd black man holding a sword in the back of his coat in New York. He's going to be gunned down pretty quick. They would take him out within seconds.
Worse than the first film, he's standing with a policeman at the back of the car with people just walking past, and he's just holding a gun to this guy's head, isn't he? Like, he's a familiar, like,
Yeah.
but nobody even batters an eyelid. Like, that guy with a sword on his back and a gun's just holding a policeman hostage.
Yeah, it could be so much better, and it's one of those things where I can understand why they didn't want to make any things, and I think they did try and revamp or redo Blade after this. They've done the TV show.
It was a TV show, but then that is it because Wesley Snipes gone to prison.
But I think he
fun
held
fact-
he held the rights to it as well, though, because Wesley Snipes had like they have to make another Blade film. They had to get his permission to do it.
Oh, well, that makes sense why the time passes and obviously he's in jail doing his stint for tax evasion and Marvel get the rights back. But Distant Screams just put a fun fact in the chat. It was originally Deacon Frost that bit and turned Hannibal in the graphic novels.
All right, I knew Hannibal did play a part. That's why the name's always hilarious.
Yeah, because in the movie doesn't he say "I'll bite you again"? So I think they kind of mention it slightly.
I know because in the what's it? He's talking about because that was Scud who was backpacking with the twins.
Yeah.
But it kind of hints. I don't know if it hints at that Parker Pose's character turned him in the film, but it kind of kept him as a pet.
Yeah. That's
So
the impression I got was that he was just a little play toy.
yeah. But yes,
And who wouldn't want Ryan Reynolds as a play toy? I think it'd be hilarious.
but if I were again, if I'm playing devil's advocate, if I was the one that was making this movie, again, like take the Whistler side bit out of it. You don't need that. You don't need Whistler's daughter again. That just plays into thing. Again, have other people fighting vampires. Yes, I like that element. Have Triple H as Dracula. It works as a much more imposing character, much more scarier, and just like say, have it dark. Like Blade needs to be dark and needs to be like the more Blades in the light, the less scary and the less interesting. Like say the movie becomes. But that's just my little take on that bit there. But how would you do it any different? Would you do it any differently, Donna?
See, like I think that added too much comedy to this, but then I'm also like thinking, I don't think we would have got Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool without him in this with the comedy. So I'm like, I would have made it darker. I think it didn't sit like the other two movies, I don't think. But having seen that, some of the comedy did make us laugh. Like the bit where it was like, number one, you've got a shit hairdo. Number two, I'll eat loads of garlic and I've just farted. But like it made us laugh,
but
but
deadly.
it doesn't seem like something that should be in a Blade movie, though.
No.
That leads into one of the most horrific bits in the whole trilogy for me. And I don't know if it's because I'm a dad now, and it's like when they say what if we turn you and leave you to get hungry?
Yes.
And then we
Yeah.
bring this girl in, and the camera cuts to her, and she's just got these like proper puppy dog eyes, and it's like,
hmm
oh no, like you feel for her.
Yeah. No,
That is
and
proper
again,
grim, that.
that part is probably one of the best things in Blade Trinity. It felt like a Blade moment. That's probably one of the first Blade moments that we had in the whole of Blade Trinity, because Blade Trinity does not feel like a Blade movie. It feels like a an episode of NY like, or what's it called, Criminal Minds or something,
Law and Order.
Law and Order or something,
It's for you.
with a
Gotta
few
love it.
with a few vampires kicked in, which is a bit of a disappointment. But it could have been so much more, and it could have led on to a lot more of the franchise. But as we know, that it kind of killed off the Blade movies from then on, because I think Blade Trinity
Aw.
was a bit of a flop, like sales wise, box office wise. It did. I think it did well in DVD.
Yeah.
I think the DVD release did well, and that's where like the character has always had a bit of an interest. But I think the potential's always there, especially like now we're getting more adult stories and adult things in the Marvel universe. So there is a place for Blade. It's just going to be interesting to see how they bring him into the MCU without the whole multiverse tagline or tagged onto it now, because with
It'd be nice if they could keep away from the multiverse. Like, oh, he's just here because multiverse. Like, it would be if they brought it in more of an interesting way.
Mhm.
Ant's worried that the Disney are never going to do Blade like we got in
No.
'98.
Well, Daredevil, I mean not Daredevil, Deadpool is going to be the blueprint to see what we get. It's like if we get a
It's true.
Disney Daredevil, Deadpool, then I am going to be scared. But Deadpool is generally one of the first Disney movies in a long time, Marvel movies, that I am generally looking forward to and think it could be
Same.
quite interesting. I know we're gonna, if when we go out to the cinema, if Donna goes, he's just gonna have to take a towel with Wolverine and Hugh Jackman being there, because it's gonna get quite moist for her, bless her.
Is it Donna? Donna, is it you who's got the Deadpool costume?
Donna Poole.
It's a like dodgy looking mask, and that's about it.
It's
I
like
think they should. I think you should wear the dodgy looking mask. Lee comes in the Spider-Man suit.
Lee's
We
already
have a- we
Lee's already
have a
came
date.
many a times
Do
in the
what in the
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man suit?
He's
You join us. I'll choose my words carefully. Did any of you stick around for the end of this movie?
I like how you quickly moved away from
I'm
that.
really good at doing that, Donna. I'm really good at...
Sammy's going, I made a mistake.
I
After
forgot who
credit
I'm
scene, but
talking
I
to.
Yes.
can't remember what it is.
Mhm.
Oh, Lee, it's literally Blade driving in a car off screen.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. I was like, Anth was like, and there's an end credit scene in this. I was like, fuck yes, doing it well before Nick Fury. Oh, well, this is what we're getting.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
To be fair though, one of the best end credit scenes is Masters of the Universe, where Skeletor's going, "Wah! I'll get you next time."
I hope to God that's on the list, mind, because I
Oh.
fucking love that film.
One day we will torture ourselves with that one. So as a franchise, where would you stack the Blade franchise with the other franchises that we got?
Can I just add a couple more things in for Blade Trinity?
I'll go for it.
Another really dark moment that we get, the human blood bank factories.
Yes.
Oh, backpack
That's
people.
horrific as well.
Mhm.
And they're all brain dead, but they're just kept alive on machines.
Very
That's
Matrix,
horrific.
though, isn't it? Like the human battery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
like
the
they've just got that
backpack for me.
constant supply of blood.
Hmm. So-
And I've also got
Tasty.
a question which I can never think of an answer to.
Right.
That familiar that he confuses for a vampire and kills him.
Mm-hmm.
That guy was told to set Blade up, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
does he get out of it? Because all the other familiars get made into vampires eventually.
And
They're
so I
like,
guess he just
"If you
makes
do
them
this,
happy.
you can die."
It could be his.
So
It could be
it's
like
job.
he could like have a family member that's going to get money or stuff like that. But yeah,
I don't think they went that deep with that one, Paul. It's just, you're going to die.
you're gonna die, bitch, and take it.
That's about it.
You're gonna take a stab in the face and like it. Yeah.
I wondered at the end, you know, like obviously when Blade's lying there, where the fuck did Drake's body go? Because he wasn't there at the end.
Oh, I know. Do you want to know?
Go on then.
So, it is there was going to be an alternate ending. They didn't quite get to it, to where somebody comes in to God, Anth told us it last night because someone comes in and takes him away. And it's another big character within the Marvel Sony universe, and I can't think who it is. Oh no, Lee, why didn't you read this bit?
I don't know. All I can remember is that they were going to do a spin-off and have a. I don't know if it was going to be an end clip of Hannibal and Jessica Biel
Oh,
fighting werewolves.
there was always going to be like the plan was for the spin-off with Jessica Biel's and Hannibal King's characters to get the spin-off after this movie, but it bombed so much that it didn't get made. Like the scripts were supposed to be getting like paid to be wrote and stuff, and as soon as it got released, it just everything stopped. But yeah, this was supposed to be going to be like the almost like the Blade universe, where they were going to have like the Hannibal King and Jessica and Whistler. I think
That's it.
mhm.
I've just got it. I'm so sorry. I'm quite sorry. So the body in the morgue.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why Blade is there and he isn't, body in the morgue is in actual fact Drake.
Right.
He transforms into Blade and allows Blade to escape. And it's him who's in the morgue, not Blade.
Ah, right. Well, I think I've seen that deleted scene. It was basically as like my final gift for you is that you can get away there. Okay.
Hence the reason why the end credit scene is him driving off in a car, because you know he escaped. It all makes sense now.
Yes.
I got way too excited there because I remember Anne telling us about it, and I was going, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. He's not sat there right now. He's gone."
Yes. So where would you rank the franchise in like the other franchise, like superhero franchises that we've got? Like we've got the Spider-Man trilogy, the X-Men movies, the Fantastic Four movies.
we're talking pre MCU, I'm guessing.
Pre MCU, because you can't you can't really put that in the thing because anything like it depends where if you go like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 type thing. But yeah, that would be a whole different conversation for a different day.
So pre MCU. Oh, it's sure so hard because every single part, apart from Fantastic Four, I can't in my I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
But every other one, like X-Men, Spider-Man, and Blade, all have an individual film in it that is brilliant.
Yeah.
And the rest are kind of like wah wah.
Mm-hmm.
Like Spider-Man 2, X-Men 2, Blade 1. Kind of like.
To be fair though, you've picked the wrong X-Men movie though.
Sorry.
Logan.
Yeah,
X-Men 2.
Logan.
X-Men 2 is amazing.
Logan is the best X-Men movie ever made.
I didn't say, we're talking pre MCU, so we're talking pre. Logan's not even been made yet.
Logan has.
What?
No, Logan came out in like 2006 or something, didn't it?
Yeah. Old Man Logan story.
Yeah, it's still not that era though.
It is. It was part of
It's not.
That's killed off Wolverine.
I would have put that like later on if we talk. I thought we were talking like pre MCU.
It is.
So pre that time.
Logan came out before the MCU.
I'm not talking actual timelines. I'm just talking about when they actually came out.
Mm-hmm. Logan came out before.
I am so confused because I'm just thinking like X-Men 1, 2, and 3.
Yep. Then I would include Logan in the X-Men franchise.
No, I think that's something completely separate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Logan came out.
We're gonna have an argument here. That's class.
This makes the question way too hard to answer.
Yes. Let's just say Logan is the best best film.
2008.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought we were doing.
Okay, it's fine.
Because I would agree, Logan is fucking class. But if it's like 1, 2, 3 X-Men, X-Men 2 is the better X-Men.
I'm gonna be a dick now and say X-Men 3 was the best.
You can't even stand by that.
Wolverine Origins was the best. having Deadpool having his mouth sewn up was such a good idea.
Ew, stop it. People will believe you. Anyways, get on, Lee. Answer the question. Now we've established the ground.
Yeah.
I can't really see anything more than what you've just said.
Okay.
Blade 1 was amazing. It's just like on the same level as like X-Men 2.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the Fantastic Four. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just what Sammy said there.
Cool. What about you, Donna?
Oh, I need a T-shirt with that on. What Sammy said.
Are you a
I'd-
fan? Are you a fan of the Fantastic Four?
Please don't say you
please,
are.
please go flame on and have some kind of special effect.
Um, I find this a really hard question to answer because I've always kind of, I know it's Marvel, but I've always kind of kept Blade as a separate thing because I feel like
Mhm.
it doesn't, until the third one, as we said, it doesn't feel like a Marvel movie. You can
No.
get his superhero landing in that, but like the Blade trilogy for me is like a 5 out of 5 because it's one
Yeah.
of my favorite movies. But then when you're saying like where do you rank it in all the Marvel trilogies and stuff,
Mhm.
I wouldn't say it would be right at the top, even though it's one of my favorite movies. Especially when you're going up against X-Men and Spider-Man. I know I'm not answering the question.
No, but you're giving us a reason why though. That's
It's
more
really
interesting.
hard to
That's
answer
more
'cause-
interesting than just saying X-Men.
I don't know.
Yeah, like Blade is in my top 5 favorite movies, but when you put it in like the MCU movies, I
Mhm.
wouldn't put it at the top.
So in the
That
context of
makes
comic,
sense?
well, no, it does. So the context of comic book movies, you're not going to add it in there because for you, it's not a comic book movie. It is just one of your favorite movies.
Yeah, even though it is.
Mhm.
But I
But
don't
no,
think
I totally get what you mean, though.
I'll be
I
a
genuinely didn't.
I'll be a proper dick here and say stand it up against the Dark Knight trilogy and see how it does.
I don't want. I honestly, I don't want to get into that argument right now. I've
and
already
if you
had
brought
fights
Logan
with
into it, that's just nasty.
I've already
Yeah.
had fights with their DC fanboys in the past. I've kind of moved past that now.
I know. Just for everyone who hasn't watched our previous episodes, Sammy doesn't like the Dark Knight.
Sammy loves Batman Begins. Thinks it's fucking amazing, but yeah. Oh, the less we see on that, the better right now.
It's all right. We've got Batman Returns soon, I think. But
I'll fucking wait.
but yeah, we're never going to do the the original Batman because I just
Oh,
don't
you're
want
not
to.
doing the best one. Okay.
What, the 1966 one?
I'll do the 1966 one with the
Fuck
Batbomb.
yeah. Yeah, fucking sharks and everything. Let's do it.
Only if I can dress up as Adam West and you can dress up as Robin.
I'll do it. Adam West. Yeah.
Adam West. But yeah, it's one of those things. I'm so pleased we did get Blade, even the Blade trilogy, because we wouldn't have, as I said at the start, we wouldn't have movies as we said. We wouldn't have Marvel comics as we have today. It would have still been Marvel something, but we wouldn't have Marvel comics as we had today. It would have been probably like a lot shorter. The comic book world would have been a lot more poorer, and it would have been in a really bad place if Blade wasn't a success. So a lot of people betted big on Blade, and
Yeah.
basically Marvel won that day. So that's why I'm always going to be grateful for these movies. But I don't think you can talk about Blade like individually. It comes as a package just because of the man himself, Wesley Snipes, and how he treated this character. And the guy has done a lot of wrong, allegedly, or he has made some interesting choices with movies, and he's made some fucking brilliant choices with movies as well. But he fought for this character. He fought for what the character represented, and he wouldn't let the character be misused or mistreated. He always tried to stay strong with the character. So, love it or hate it, you've got to respect the man's resolve for what he wanted in this character and what he got. So I've
Yeah,
got a lot of
absolutely.
respect for that.
Absolutely. And
just
I have never
remembered-
been. Oh, go on.
Oh, sorry. Originally, he didn't go for Blade. Originally, Wesley Snipes wanted to make a Black Panther film.
Yeah, that's why he got turned down for that, and that's why he went to here.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember that
Um,
because he'd been fighting for Black Panther since the 80s.
Oh, that's incredible, that man.
Mhm.
That's I tell you what though, it made my little nerdy heart sing with joy when we saw Wesley Snipes in What We Do in the Shadows as Blade as part of the Vampiric Council. I wept. I mean, I cried when I saw Paul Rubens,
Mhm.
and I cried even more when Wesley Snipes appeared on bloody
Mhm.
camera, like on a Zoom call as well. And I was like, oh my god, there he is.
Well,
That was such a good scene. It's a
Yes.
good scene.
So yes. So anyone else wants to add about the Blade?
feel like I've got everything out that me and Anne talked about last night.
Don't know, have you got everything off your chest?
Uh,
You should have
Um,
said not everything.
I would say, apart from outside of Blade, don't do a massive diss-on at Wesley Snipes, because although he got caught for the tax invasion, he's not doing anything different to every fucking other company. They
Not
just
so
don't
much-
get caught for it.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. Just allegedly, he's a bastard to work with as well. So that's
And
that's
also allegedly hit his wife.
yeah.
So there's
that-
that too. I will never diss him on the tax evasion thing. He went to prison. This set a fucking example for that man.
To be
Yeah.
fair, it's going to happen to me one day, so it's fine.
We're a cult. We've got exemptions.
Diplomatic mutiny.
The community.
When we start doing Lethal Weapon 2, that's going to be an interesting
Oh,
one.
that's class.
But yes, I'm trying to think what I'm going to say now. So yes, tomorrow night we've got an interesting Monsters episode, to say at least.
It's certainly something. It is certainly something. Tomorrow we're doing one of my favorite worst movies of all time. We're doing Plan 9 from Outer Space. Please come and show the episode some love by checking us out at 7 o'clock on YouTube. If not, just come and watch my opening. I'll tell you what, it's not GCSE drama. It is fucking A-level drama. Acting right there. Oscar worthy, which is
Oscar-worthy.
tonight, by the way, guys. Oscars are tonight. If
Oh,
anyone is interested.
I stopped caring
Interested?
about that.
Interested.
I stopped caring about that a long time ago. But yes, and Lee, are you streaming this week? Are you doing anything fun?
Yeah, I should be carrying on with Final Fantasy VII on Thursday.
Oh,
Good to know.
what will you be wearing, Lee? I want to know. Will you be wearing topless? Are we going to start the hashtag topless Lee? Hashtag topless Lee?
Topless
I will
stream.
not bring that up just yet.
Oh,
little
so-
tease. Always
so-
teasing you,
so,
people.
Everyone in the chat, if you can get on Twitter, get on Facebook, get on Instagram, I want the hashtag topless Lee trending, because we've got thousands and thousands.
I should just tease them with Dominic Purcell's outfit in this Blade 3 with his stupidly deep V-neck.
Get
Like,
some leather
how far down
chains
does that
around,
go?
like the necklaces. Get the
Good.
necklaces, Lee. You'll do great.
Just go on Mr. T on us. Got Mario in the
Donna-
background as well.
Donna directing children with food. Go.
We've got like I say, the Gaming Up North boys potentially doing the Grand Theft Auto episode. I don't know what night that is going to be showing, but we'll, like I say, we'll get that nailed down. Potentially we've got a Wednesday night episode of Nerdy Up North where we will be talking about The Strangers. I'll get the finalised that tomorrow. So we might have a midweek episode for you lovely people where we talked about one of the films that scared me the most and still scares me. It didn't scare Donna because Donna's not scared of anything. She's just
And
like,
also, she is literally sitting in the house with her door open
yeah. So
Oh,
and not a care in the
is this
world.
The
I would be
Strangers?
having a meltdown right now.
So we've got The Strangers. Friday, Good Captain Goodwill and Sign Office Signoids is back at 7:30. They're doing another episode of Next Generation. They're doing Arsenal of Freedom. So they will be
Nice.
live this Friday. On Sunday, we are back with Lee again. Nerdy Lee is joining us, and he is going to be singing on this episode.
You're gonna have better. You're gonna have your shades again.
I'll have to.
Yes.
You'll have to go wear a suit.
And
Just
we are joined by the lovely Nikki as well. She is joining us to talk about the Blues Brothers. So
be
you,
good.
me, everybody. No, it's not going to happen. Need somebody to love. So yes, so that is happening. You might, if I get bored. Sometimes I've got access to the Twitch channel now, so I'll be
dangerous, guys.
Yes.
You've got access to Twitch.
yeah. Interesting things happen when I Twitch, shall we say? To bring the worlds down, but yeah. So I might pop in, put a few things about. Might even just play a bit of FIFA and suck at it. I'm glad Lee didn't say his study.
Does this connect with Chris's comment of put a shirt on, Paul?
Possibly. I have been I've been topless a lot lately on our streams, and it's basically just panicking, just don't know what to do. It's like, I'll take my top off. That's entertaining. It seemed, and the nerds seem to like it.
You really do bow down to the Discord creeps, don't you?
But
Yes, you do.
It's
You do.
it's because they do go on their knees for me as well, in many ways than one. But yes.
Wow.
Except from Chris. Chris doesn't have to go on his knees because he's only a weenie. He's a tiny little boy.
Hey, I'm gonna let it pass because he was dissing Captain America earlier, so
Yes.
fine.
But
Go for
yes.
it.
So Donna, when's SunnyCon? Tell them
End of
tell
June.
the nerds to buy the tickets now.
The 20-something of June.
20-something
Buy
of
your
June.
tickets now.
21st, 22nd, and 23rd of June.
Yes, I think we're coming on the Saturday.
We're coming on the Saturday. Yep.
Yes, I think we're making the payments on the Saturday because we want to experience SunnyCon on the Saturday. We're not
It's gonna-
performing. We're not performing
we're-
this year. No.
We're not, but it's going to be my husband's first ever convention.
Yes.
So be
Oh.
kind to him.
So Donna's gonna lick him. So lick Adam if you see him. Lick
Adam
Ant.
is not
Sorry,
my husband, by the way.
I was gonna say lick. I was gonna say lick Ant.
Got a
Sorry,
new husband now.
I know. He's being replaced.
it's because Sammy was
I'm
telling
sure
us
he's
this.
going to appreciate that.
To be fair though, Sammy was telling us a story about Adam before. That's why it stuck in my mind. But yeah.
Oh, right. No, it's Anth. So
it's
just be kind.
So
He's
everyone,
gonna- he's
hashtag
first
lick
convention.
lick at Anth that day. But yes, we are going to be at Nerdfest on the 1st of April. So
Can't wait.
again, we're going to show up. Any nerds turn up, want to see us, we'll get some food, and we are going to HorrorCon on the 7th of
7th of April.
we are
which
traveling-
is going to be even more interesting.
yes, we're traveling down to Manchester. We'll be doing some live streams from the Facebook group, the page, just to like show about. So that's going to be great. We always love a little bit of a horror fest as well, and see how spooky Sammy can be. But yes, anything else you just want to plug?
Go and watch Monsters tomorrow, please. It's a really fun episode. I promise. I promise.
No problem. And everyone, lick a Lee. But yes. Well, he's putting the glasses on now. He's mean
That
business.
make you invisible.
Is this your safe zone? It's like,
I'm
what-
not really here.
oh,
Oh,
blame
look how
him.
we
It's
adjusted his
just for the end of
fringe,
the
man.
podcast.
oh, what was the film? Big Daddy. Daddy Lee, do you wipe your own ass, Lee? Do you wipe your own ass? So same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone. Bye.
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 They thirsty suckers.
Can't rain all the time. Maggots, Michael. Hey, come on down and chum some of this shit.
Oh, just some scary movie.
Like scary.
Uh-huh.
Hell is this?
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
It's showtime.